Oh, wow. Oh my God, Britney Spears is here? What?
It's me!
Oh my God, what? Hey, bitch.
I know, you thought it was Britney. I'm not.
Oh my
I wish I were.
Oh my God, you're not Derek Barry?
No, I'm not Derek. I'm not Britney. My boyfriend loves Britney. That's why I have this book here. But I'm not. But I'm just as innocent and sweet. As
sure,
Britney.
honey, whatever you say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we know that to be a lie. But we love you all the same. We love you all the same. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Yay. I've got like 5 different drinks going on today, so like there's going to be drinks everywhere. But also I'm drinking water because hydration is important. And because today it's my job to do it, I've got a cup mug. Ooh, a cup mug. And someone else here will have one very soon. We will make sure of it. And you can get yours and all of our other merch at LanaGcreations.etsy.com. That link is in the description below. We do ship domestically within North America and internationally, so there are no excuses. Unless you're in Brazil. We're really trying, Brazil. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brazil. But get your cup mug. And we thank you.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. I don't know why, but I had to wear my Denali shirt today. I'm just Denali's on the brain. I got her signature right here, too.
What? I wonder why. Is she on TV right now?
Maybe. And this is a cool shirt because it says Denali upside down or right side up.
Well, yes, that's her logo.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's cute.
Yeah, that's been her logo since her season, and it's literally just if you flip it upside down, it's
exactly. I'm just drinking some water. I don't have much left though.
Well, hi everybody. I'm Brook, and I am passionate about pop culture. Finally, on an episode recap for All Stars 10. You know,
you made it.
I did. You know, the girlies have been wanting to talk a lot this season, so I have kindly held my tongue for 8 episodes. However, by the end of the 3rd bracket, I wanted to give my thoughts. And also, I heard that Genie was going to be here, and I may or may not have stormed the castle immediately when I found out. So
they did.
So I'm really excited to be here and give my thoughts on a little bit more than just this episode, but also just this whole bracket. I am also drinking water because I'm thirsty. Wink.
Period.
It's good for the skin. It's good for the skin. Hi, everybody. I'm Genie from Drag Race Thailand, Season 2, the cult favorite season, the best season of all the shows across the world.
Correct.
We were the first series that was international, and listen, we're holding it down. We're iconic queens here. But thank you all for having me. It's so fun to talk about these queens and watch the show and chit chat with people who love it just as much as I do. So thanks for having me here.
Genie, we're so happy to have you back on the cup. Not your first time here, so you get to do your own intro this time. It ain't your first time here, so yes, we're so happy.
Veteran.
Yes, we're so happy to have you back here with us today, talking All Stars. Because baby, purple bracket's over.
Mm-hmm.
Brackets are over. Brackets are over. Whoa!
Now they're merging. The merge is happening.
It's the merge. We're at Survivor. Merge is happening next week. Jesus, but
who doesn't want to know who made the merge?
Well, we're going to talk about who made the merge and all of that. We've got a lot to talk about and a lovely improv challenge. One of the best improv challenges ever.
I mean, I think we're on a good streak with these Bitchelor improv challenges.
I think the Bitchelor is a good challenge. We'll talk about it. But, well, someone's got opinions here, and I'm excited to find out about them. But before we do, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time, giving you almost all things drag. Currently, we are still here trucking through with All Stars 10. We've got the merge next week, but stay tuned next week, everyone, because we've got an extra special edition of our All Stars 10 coverage. We had to bring in the big guns because we had to talk about everything, we needed Mother to come in and really talk about all the brackets in full before we dive into the merge next week. So stay tuned early next week for a lovely extra special episode here with us. We won't tell you who, but you will be very excited, and so are we. And we've got that coverage going on. We are in the preseason for both Drag Race Brazil and Drag Race France All-Stars, so stay tuned for all of our content regarding all of that. And we just did a lovely interview with Drag Race Brazil Season 2's Chanel. So excited. That interview is available on the channel now. Go check that out. She is a damn delight and a wackadoo in the best way. We adore her. She's cut family now. From the moment she popped in studio, we love her. Go support her. So those episodes are available on the channel now. Go check those out. We're also covering King of Drag. Come on, Drag Kings. Period. Point blank. Go support the Drag Kings. Don't talk shit about the Drag Kings. Fans, I'm looking directly at you right now. Don't talk shit about the Drag Kings. Yeah, the production value ain't that good yet. Okay, we all know it. We all understand it. Season 1 of Drag Race looked like a Vaseline-filtered nightmare. Season 1 of Dragula was filmed on a 20mm camera. Get over it. Support the Kings. Uplift the Kings. Stop talking shit about the Kings. Anyway, make sure to go check out our episode 1 recap of King of Drag with the lovely Johnny Jones available on the channel now as well. You can also check out the description to find our other channels, our audio podcast links, our Patreon, our social media, where you can follow Genie, because if you're not already, what are you doing?
Real questions.
You gotta be there.
And all of our links are down in the description below.
Absolutely,
As well. So go
absolutely.
follow us. Follow Genie.
Follow
support
everybody.
Genie.
Go look at the looks. Go look at the looks. Go look at the looks and DM me. How much you love
Absolutely.
them and comment.
Absolutely. Engagement. And
Absolutely.
then go comment on our Instagram videos
All of them.
with Genie. There will be one coming. Several of them, probably. But Genie, girl, what's up? What you been up to
Hey,
since the last time we saw you?
Listen, I've been running around the world. I've been doing a lot of stand-up comedy, in drag, out of drag.
Werk.
I've been doing, I have this, oh my God, it's like, you have so much stuff to edit. You just have to get stuff out, but you're like, oh my God, that's like on the list to edit things. There's so much to do.
Me right now.
It just sits there. It just sits there on your phone and your hard drive. You get the files. Anyway, so I have a whole comedy set that I did as Jaja Gabor, like a sort of like a stand-up
I saw
in character.
I saw the photos. Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, it was the hardest thing I've ever, it's just the hardest kind of drag performance thing I've ever done, because it's an accent, it's a character, it's a stand-up at the same, it's a lot at the same time, but I did it and it went really well. So I need to cut that and put that online. So I've been doing stand-up, I've been doing professional emceeing out of drag, in drag. So I think that's my favorite. Honestly, that's my favorite art form in drag. Besides, I'm not a lip syncer, that's just like not my thing, but being on the mic and having fun with an audience and making them have a fun time, that's the thing I love doing. Besides over the top looks, that's what I love to do. So it's been fun to do it. That's what I've been up to.
Love that.
Well, yeah, speaking of your over-the-top looks, I know we met you at DragCon last year for the first time, and you're just really well known for having incredible looks at DragCon.
Thank you.
But it doesn't seem like we're going to get one this year. I mean, if they do one this year and they give us 1 month notice, I don't know what's going on.
We'll be there. We'll figure it out.
I will still be there.
We'll make it happen. I have an idea for the next look too. It's like,
See?
it's on concept, it's on theme. So we'll see if they do it.
Okay. Well, we can't ask you what it is just in case, but I am curious.
Yeah. But, well, speaking of your looks, I mean, we should probably just talk about them.
Let's talk about
them. Baby, and we got to see it in person. And y'all, when we tell you, it was, girl, it was sickening.
For the record, as the only person who did not get to see this look in person, I have never been more jealous in my entire life.
You should be.
Because the first time I saw this look, it was when you all were covering DragCon. You were like, you guys, you need to look at this look, and this look.
Yeah.
immediately I was agape for a solid like 3 minutes.
That's
like-
dangerous, Brooke. That sounds very
Okay,
I go to the ER at 4.
Ooh,
Okay,
feeling
but, like,
baby. Ooh.
never again. Second point. God, this look is so perfect in every way. And also, how do they have like keep the color of the pink carpet consistent? Is that because that's perfect? It's
Thank
so
you.
good.
Yeah, they do. It's a specific. I had coordinated with the World of Wonder team ahead of time because, and even with the last year's the year before the booth look, I had to work with them to make it happen because it's everything's too big to be just like you're just gonna show up in a look. This one I was like, it has to be the exact same shade. Here's my concept. I made a little mini deck for them and sent them the thing, and I was like, here's what's happening. And then they showed me the shade and they helped me out to like make sure it was a match. And then my designer, who is Godoy from
Netflix. My
Netflix.
God, I forgot you had Godoy do this.
Yes. And I was like, and Godoy is like booked and busy. She does not need to be making queens looks. She chose to say yes to 2 queens that year, me and Roxy Andrews. So you know what I mean? I was like, I'm in good company.
Good company for sure.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, great. And she found the exact right fabric. We wanted it to be like carpet material. So it was, it has that same kind of pile and fluffiness, and the texture looks like carpet. So we made it work. We made it happen.
I remember seeing you from afar before I realized it was you. I was like, who is this person with this entourage just carrying their... How many people did you have helping you carry?
I had 3, my 3 friends, Eric, Jonathan, and Joe. They all carried the back of the dress, and we practiced choreography with like when we're gonna spin around, when we're gonna do this. It was because it's so big. It's so big. And the vision I had was I wanted it to look like the whole carpet was my dress. Like on the carpet, it looks like the entire runway is my dress. That's I know all these little queens, winners, whoever are just walking. I just little specks on my dress. That's the whole thing.
It's so good.
It's ego. Honestly, it's just ego. I want to be
as you should. As you should, baby.
It shows effort.
Yes. Even the year before, the booth look was really why I did the booth look was, different
the booth look.
Oh yes, that one.
The booth look.
That's the one. That's that one.
He's not with you there.
That's Fenton. That's Fenton Bailey from
Fenton.
Some names.
from World of Wonder. Fenton and Randy came to find me at DragCon that year and were like, you won DragCon. And I was like, great. And so is it an official award? No, it is not. Do I act like it's an official award? Yes, I do.
Absolutely.
I won DragCon. I won it twice, baby. I won it twice.
Yeah.
But I did it because the different queens get placed in different areas around the convention center. And I was like, I want to be right in the middle of it all. So I will just take my booth and park it here in the middle. And then it was like people loved it. So I was so happy. I was so happy people got it and loved it.
It's so smart.
It's so
and like
cool.
Here's the thing. If Fenton and Randy are coming up to you saying you've won DragCon, then why hasn't she been back on Drag Race?
You know why? Because they're like, you cannot fit your outfits on this runway. That's what it is.
I don't care. They just upgraded.
Yeah, they did.
The US runway.
They did.
They've upgraded several international runways. I don't care. Get Genie back on Drag Race. Thank you.
All I'm saying is this. Ivy Winter stood on that stage on some stilts, and Courtney Act had the big wings.
Mhm.
They can fit on. It'll fit on stage. It's fine. It'll work.
We'll make it work.
And also, you live in LA now.
I know.
Transportation is not that difficult because it's literally in LA.
I'll bring 2 U-Hauls. We'll be good to go. It'll be perfectly fine. That's all we need.
And it'll be less expensive than flying a girl across the country.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm at a discount here. I'll bring it all. I'll be ready to go. Let's go, baby. Imagine because these things happen, right? Where somebody drops out or something. Who knows? Like things happen last minute. I've made sure they know I'm available. Also, all the people watching this episode, go comment on Reddit. These people keep track of Reddit. They watch the comments and everything. So go comment that you want me. If you think I would be good on the show and you'd like to see some nonsense and foolishness of drag, then go comment on World of Wonders post and tell them.
Do it. Please do, because she deserves it. Now, come on
thank
now.
y'all. Thank
Because
y'all.
honestly, to transition into talking about All Stars 10, I feel like you would thrive in this format.
I would love it. Oh, what a fun
What are you thinking of this season in this format?
I love it. I think it gives more queens a chance to surprise people. And when they're figuring out what kind of mix they have of queens, they can give some more dark horses a chance. They can see what they're gonna bring, see what they're gonna be up to. And it's not so much like, queens who are gonna win and queens are fillers, and there's no such thing as that. It's like, let's get a good mix of people. Let's see who can surprise us. Let's see who can bring something new. Let's see who can deliver in this and play this game with us as well. With the point, and for all the talk about production did this, production did that, there's very little you can really. Things are happening so quickly. People can't really control that stuff. It really is like, we're filming the stuff. Can you express the truth of what happened in these days with the footage you have available? That's really what they're trying to do. So queens who do well, I know there's accusations of like they're stacking it so certain queens will, succeed. But just on the other side of that too, if you are doing a challenge where you are slotted to not do well, or people don't expect you to do well, but you do well, you could win that whole episode. Mm-hmm. It's even better for you to do that then, for something that doesn't seem like it's up your alley. That's part of it too, like surprise people. So I love the bracket thing. I think it really freshens up the whole show, and it gives a lot of queens a chance to bring their best and to be real competitors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know you did do Binge Queen back during All Stars 7, and you had a partner that we might have seen on this.
Oh, absolutely. But two of them actually did too. I had Deja Sky and I had Carrie Colby. So yeah, so we did episodes of both.
Two of our absolute favorites.
Faves. Carrie was amazing. Deja was great. I think they were fantastic. Carrie looked so good this season. And it really is her style, like her essence is like very much there. So it takes time. She cooked. She did cook, and
she cooked. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm so proud of both of them. I'm disappointed because they were two of my favorites coming into this season. I'm disappointed that neither of them made it through to the semifinals. But again, this cast is so stacked that like, am I upset with any of the people that went through to the semifinals? Yes, one of them. But like otherwise, like, but there's so many good choices that like every bracket I'm like, oh, but this person.
Yeah.
Oh, but Nicole Page works from Atlanta, Georgia. No. And like
how we all felt after bracket 2.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Because I mean she's doing fine for herself now. She's got Fenty sponsorships. She's creating 8-hour ASMR sleep videos.
That's amazing.
Nicole is doing great for herself. And, truly the epitome of you can be doing anything with yourself 30 years into your drag career. And I'm so happy for her.
It gives me hope for sure. That's like, and also she's just herself. Nicole Page, she's just herself, and people love that. And that's one of the hardest. Okay, not to like name drop Fenton again, but I was at Cannes Lions recently because I was a speaker there. I was emceeing there, and I ran into Fenton, and we had coffee there. And we were just chit chatting, and I was telling him, I was like, that's one of the hardest things to learn is to just, the cameras are on, the lights are on, and it's just be yourself. That's a hard thing. People say be yourself on a date, be yourself here, be yourself. People say be yourself, but to be yourself on camera, it is not easy to do, especially for people who are drag queens who are trying to be perfect at everything. You're trying to be perfect makeup, perfect hair, you're trying to be perfect at everything. And through that, you also have to be real. God damn, it's difficult. So I think she is able to transcend it. She's so real in herself. It's like icon status. She's just icon status.
I love her. And I have to say, I've loved this bracket too. Even though the internet seems to hate this bracket, I've loved this bracket.
Okay. Can I?
I was gonna say, Brooke.
Okay.
I want to know. I do want to know your thoughts.
Tell us everything.
I have been sitting on the sidelines for 9 episodes of All Stars 10, watching everybody have all of these opinions about everything on the internet, and I've mostly been very respectful to a lot of people. Now, I would like to acknowledge something before I get into what I'm about to say. 2 seasons ago, when we were doing coverage of All Stars 8, I was a very bitter bitch towards Jimbo. Okay? Let's acknowledge that. Okay?
Yes.
I would like to apologize. Straight up.
Drove me crazy.
Now, I want to be clear. I'm still not a very big fan. Do I still think there were challenges on that season that Jimbo won, that Jimbo should not have won? Yes.
Yes.
However, personal opinion, David. Personal opinion.
Personal opinion.
Personal opinion.
I still
okay?
stand behind the fact that Mrs. Kasha Davis should have won RDR live anyway.
Correct. Wrong way.
Not
Correct.
in that look.
But beside the
Not
point,
in that look, but I agree.
beside the point, this is all opinion, okay? Personally, that is my take. However, there was a way that I should have handled that and been mature in that situation that I was not mature in that situation, right? You can think that Denali beat Ginger in that snatch game. You can think that all you want, right? And not in that snatch game. Why did I say snatch game? Whatever.
Sync.
In that lip sync. Thank you. You think Denali beat Ginger in that lip sync all you want. You can think that Ginger shouldn't have been in the top. That's fine too, right? It's your opinion. But at the end of the day, is this insert random username on Twitter's Drag Race? I don't think so.
No.
Clock it.
And like, if you are not RuPaul, I don't really care what you think. In terms of like the overall, like, this person was rigged out. I'm so mad. Like, y'all, it's a reality competition show judged by a few people, but primarily by one person. Okay? This isn't American Idol. We do not get to vote on our favorites every week. Okay? If you want to do that, go support your queen by going to their performances when they come to your area. Go send them money on Venmo. Go follow them on Twitter and Instagram. Go do whatever else you feel like you need to do. Buy merch. Get yourself another cute shirt like David Healy does all the time, right?
Yes.
There are so many ways to support a queen, and they don't have to win Drag Race for you to support them.
Yeah.
One of my favorite performers I have seen on a drag show in the past 2 years was the second boot on the last season of Dragula that nobody liked, okay? And that's okay. Right?
Come on,
Because
Scylla.
Scylla's drag was really interesting.
Come on, Scylla.
I love Scylla, right? And I still wear that shirt. That is the only
Work.
piece of drag merch clothing that I own is a Scylla t-shirt, and I still wear that. Okay?
Scylla.
So, like, can we not just be respectful when we have differing opinions? We don't have to be this, like, catty, awful group of people that have been online harassing Ginger Minge. And I will also add to that, we also do not have to be the catty people that were harassing Mistress and Georges.
Yeah.
And to a lesser extent, I saw some people going after some other people in bracket 1.
I'm gonna amend your statement, not to a lesser extent, but to just as much of an extent to Aja and to Olivia and to Deja and to Carrie, because they weren't black enough for this season.
That's what you were hearing online? That's crazy.
Yep.
I
There were
remember
several
I
many
remember when the cast got
conversations.
announced. It was
Because
I saw a lot of people saying, "Where are the black girls on this cast?"
Because
I
they are the
remember seeing
only 4 black girls on this cast, and people were continually asking, where are the black girls? This cast isn't black enough.
Messy.
Yeah,
Messy.
So for me, I have really enjoyed this season. This is one of my favorite seasons of All Stars. I think 8 out of 9 of these challenges have been a home run for me. I think it has been lovely getting to see 3 episodes of some of these girls that, let's be honest, aren't all fantastic at Drag Race. That doesn't mean they're not good queens. It just means they're not great at Drag Race. But it's awesome getting to see them come back and getting to see these opportunities just to showcase themselves one more time. And it's also really awesome that a lot of the people that I've really connected to with on this cast are moving into this merge. And I'm really excited to see that. Irene the Alien Stan account. Thank you very much. So,
Period.
but yeah, this particular bracket has been, I enjoyed this more than bracket 2 personally. Bracket 1 was still my favorite, but like in terms of overall, I think bracket 3 has been giving the same quality that the other 2 brackets were giving. You just don't like Ginger because she's a big girl.
That's true.
Let's make it up.
Also, Ginger, people have their opinions, whatever, and that's fine. Like, yes, people's whatever. It's Rue's opinion that yes, course,
Mhm.
it's still good, interesting to hear people's opinions, but they can also be completely wrong. Like, it's not just because Rue said so. I think Ginger won that lip sync against Denali.
Agreed.
I do, because it was a certain type of song, certain type of energy, certain type of stage presence, and
Yeah.
Denali was amazing. But you can see when someone's dancing far too much and they're not connecting. And you can see it in this lip sync in this episode. I know we're gonna get there, but
Yeah.
you can see how you, and I'm not a lip syncer, but I can still comment on it, right? It's like,
Oh yeah.
movement can help it, and sometimes movement doesn't help it. Different kinds of
Yeah.
energy. So I think Ginger fully won that. I could feel she won it, not because Rue said so, but because she did.
Well, I mean, and let's also not act like Ginger Minj is not one of the best lip sync performers we have ever had on the show. Up until literally today,
Mhm.
Literally
episode-
today's episode.
Ginger Minj has never lost a lip sync on Drag Race.
Yeah.
What, 6-0, I believe, coming into this episode, or 5-0?
7.
A
That
lot of
iconic
wins.
phone. She did the phone one. That was great. Like, she is great.
Like
Also, one of my favorite lip syncs that has ever happened on the show was "Show Me Love" with Trixie and Ginger,
Oh,
because it's a
so
fever
good.
dream and it's so dumb.
Oh,
but it's
oh no.
perfect.
Oh, you're talking about Fever Dream lip syncs. Remember the 4-person
I
the
think
the
we're alone
twins
now.
lip sync
Yeah, I
with
think we're
her,
alone now.
Frisbee Jenkins,
Oh
Tempest
my
du
God,
Jour, and
yes!
Jaden Dior Fierce. That
And
lip
it's the conjoined
that
twins
lip sync
returning
lives-
challenge. So you
that
have
lip
Frisbee
sync lives
Jenkins
rent
and
free.
Ginger connected by a uniboob.
That lip sync lives rent free in my mind just because of the way that Ginger and Frisbee get out of that uniboob so quickly, and then they're just rolling around on the floor. And meanwhile, Jaden is doing hashtag the best I can do right now here in this situation.
Yeah.
That is a Drag Race quote I use so frequently. It is not even funny. Like, that is. And then she's just trying to do her little 8 counts with Tempest strapped to her back, and Tempest is doing her best to just like disco. It's one of my favorite lip syncs of all time. Like, it's just so. Oh, it's so good.
Speaking of Tempest du Jour, come back, please. I need you. Thank you very much.
Shout out to my hometown girl.
Has she had a glow up? Has she had a glow up? Have you been
Yes.
watching? Okay. I want to
Yes.
see. I want to see.
Yes,
I'm gonna look it out. Look it up.
I was so happy to see it. I got to see her. We had Tina here a couple of weeks ago for Pride,
Mhm.
and Tempest was in the show, and I am happy to report Miss Du Jour has stepped her pussy up finally.
Okay, I love it. I want to see it.
The mixes were new, the drag was good, the costumes were good.
Okay,
I'm like,
amazing.
yes, ma'am. Come on now.
She's bringing it. Tempest du
Thank
jour.
God, I'm so happy to see it. But yes, let's dive into this episode here today. We come back in after the iconically infamous lip sync to my favorite Miley Cyrus song. So I lived for every single moment of it, and I loved both of them, and I think it should have been a tie. But that's just me. And the girls are talking about what they're going to do with their points, but not really, because we barely get any of the discussion, really. Because it's dominated by Diabetti. Now, David, take out your headphones for about 30 seconds.
Let me first of all just say
Okay.
the mental gymnastics I went through this whole episode to
Yeah.
try to justify agreeing with Dia.
Okay.
But she's got to be right somehow. Let me think about how
baby.
she's right.
I agree with
Dave-
her. I'm being real. I agreed with her. To a point. To a point.
Tell us,
there
how
is
so?
there is a point where I no longer agree with her, and it is in Untucked, basically, and halfway through this episode.
Wait, what's the Brooke? Tell us what's the
Well, okay. So for context to the fans who are just watching our recap and have not watched the episode because you love us, thank you very much. There was in Untucked, Alyssa said that she was going to be giving her point to the queen that was the most consistent, right?
Yeah.
Based off of the judges' critiques, right? That would be Dia. She was in the top in the first week, and she was pretty close to being in the top in the second week in terms of based on the critiques the judges gave her. Right?
Sure.
I agree with the sentiment and her being a little butthurt after the situation, after she does get Alyssa's point. I completely understand. I agree with the notion that she has. However, the second half of this, where we're in the workroom after the challenge, didn't really agree with that. But like the mindset she was in, I agree with that. I mean, look, Alyssa, like I said, this is a game. Alyssa doesn't have to give her point to Daya. She can play mind games all she wants, and that's not what she was doing. But she could do that if she wanted to, and I wouldn't call her out on it. I think it's totally fair. But I mean, at the end of the day, girl, you don't have the point. Talking with her about it is not going to change that. And bring your best on this runway. That's all you can really do.
Yeah, move on. And also, okay, so her behavior, whatever, like people are allowed to be queens and be dramatic and whatever. That is fine. Like, and we, disagree, agree, whatever. She's doing it. What I really did not like about what Diabetti did was she came into it with this presupposition that it's impossible that Alyssa Hunter or anybody could give Cynthia a point and believe that Cynthia did a great job. That's what I don't like. It's like you came into this,
or anyone else for that,
or anyone else. You just assumed, and it's like, yeah, we all have to have some level of delusion. I get it, but and then she goes up to Cynthia and says, "It's not about you. I don't think you shouldn't get the point." Yes, that's what you're saying. You're saying that it's so unfathomable that Alyssa could think that Cynthia did a great job. Is it that unfathomable? No, not at all. Of course not. Cynthia Lee did a great. We watched the videos. You watch the country performances. Cynthia Lee Fontaine was among the best for sure. In my opinion, for sure, one of the best. Her lyrics were great. Performance was great. I didn't like the purple legging with the thing, but besides that, great.
All of the outfits were ugly.
All the outfits were ugly. They didn't. Yeah. The only good girl group outfits so far, I think, have been the Evil group in like Georges and them. Like they looked great together. It looked stunning. But that they did their thing. Even Mistress Isabel Brooks looked great. They all look great. But this one, horrible outfits.
Not
but
even.
Yeah, even her. I mean, honestly, even her. But this one, Cynthia was great. So I think that's just like poor showing. That gives me very Milk vibes. Gives me like Milk crying about blah blah.
And I love Daya, and that's the frustrating thing. Is like I love Daya. I've really, really loved seeing Daya back on the show, but it's an interesting headspace to see Daya in this competition and in this style of Drag Race, because on season 14, she obviously like went home first and then spent the entire season kind of as the underdog. Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting to see her in this season where so suddenly she's come in kind of as a front runner. Yeah. Like it was very immediately her and Ginger were kind of the big front runners immediately, which I love. And I was very happy for Daya in that way. For me, I think a lot of points that Daya made were very valid. And I actually really resonated a lot with what happens with Daya in general. And I want to put a pin in it specifically when we get to the workroom stuff, because that's where I related to Daya the most. But yeah, in this situation, there's a moment for me later in the episode where I'm like, Daya, just shut the fuck up, girl. Like, I get it. I get it. We get it. The cameraman gets it.
We know.
Fenton and Randy get it. RuPaul gets it. Mayan Lopez gets it. Baby, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got it, honey.
I think what's important is to remember what they actually showed in Untucked for episode 8 and how we got to the point where she had this feeling. And it was because she was giving an example. She's like, okay, hypothetically, if Ginger is not in the top right now, do you see yourself giving your point to Ginger? And Alyssa is like, oh yeah, of course. So I think she took that example of like, okay, track record, Ginger was in the top first episode, didn't make it in the top episode 2, so you're giving it to her. So that will apply to me too if I'm not in the top 2. So she was so stuck on that one example resonating with Alyssa. But honestly, I think Ginger has been more consistent than Daya. Daya was not one of my favorites in the previous episode. So I can see why Alyssa doesn't see her as consistent. I actually think, and also she didn't say consistently good either. So she could have given it to somebody consistently like third or fourth place.
I was going to say as well, I love Daya, but I think Cuckoo has been consistently better than Daya in the first 2 episodes.
I think so too.
I liked her design challenge look better. and I liked her girl group performance better. I will not say the same about this week. I do like Daya better this week, but that's just me personally. But we'll talk about that when we get there. But yes, so they we get Denali and Ginger coming back in. No mention whatsoever of congratulating Ginger for her win. Instead, we're talking about Denali saying either I can go boohoo or I can celebrate the fact that I'm in the top 2. And I was like, great. I love that energy.
Love it.
And we got played in the preview because we thought it was Miss Denali that was shading Ginger about thinking that Ginger didn't win the lip sync. No, of course it's Alyssa Hunter. Of course it's Alyssa Hunter that's doing it.
She's the drama. It's not Cardi. It's not Scarlett.
No, it's not Cardi. It's not Scarlett. It's not Genie. It's Alyssa Hunter.
Well, it could be Genie too.
Well, maybe. But I mean, what else is Alyssa going to do on this season at this point? To be honest, she's just trying to fabricate drama because that's all she can do at this point.
I didn't get that sense when she said it. I think she just says what's. I think there's a little bit of her thinking about what fans are going to say and what's going to. You can't help it, but like at least she said it to her face. She's like, oh,
I definitely appreciate that for sure. I meant that more so in the context of like, well,
what else we got? I know.
Yeah.
She's not gonna get. Yeah, and she seemed to. What's strange is like because the point spread is very different this bracket than the previous ones. It's there's much more gaps.
Yeah.
When you're in the bottom, you're like, they seem to have accepted it pretty quickly. Like, okay, we're not gonna make it. Okay, cool. And Alyssa seemed to be in fine with it. But I think this is another example to me of like, okay, I don't know Alyssa Hunter very well. We all don't know her too well. She didn't have too much screen time, right? But she's pretty honest with her stuff. But she'll just say what she thinks.
Yeah,
that's what it seems.
I think we have a perfect sound effect to just accompany Alyssa Hunter here, which is
I should have more camera time.
I cannot believe you just pulled out I should have more camera time.
From claim to fame.
I love it.
Wow. Okay then.
Tom Hanks' niece right there.
Yep. We love that. Rest in peace, claim to fame. That's so upsetting.
So sad. It was such a good show.
Yeah. But we get our points given out. We get Daya giving her point to Cuckoo. We get Cuckoo giving her point to Daya. We get Acid giving yet another soliloquy. And God, I love Acid and her soliloquies. God, I love Acid Betty. This bracket has just made me fall back in love with Acid Betty. Let me just say that as well. But Acid Betty with her soliloquy gives her point to Cuckoo. And then Alyssa decides to also give her point to Cuckoo. And suddenly, Cuckoo is in second place. Yeah. And
I screamed. My dog Kabuki was like, "What's going on?" I screamed. I scrumped. The scream I scrumped.
The scream, we all scrumped. And then David is sitting here
upset.
Like, the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on up in here on this day?
Can I just say, before this season started, I told Logan this. I said, I don't know who's moving forward from each bracket. The only thing I can tell you with certainty is Cynthia Lee Fontaine will not be moving forward with how stacked her group is. There's no way.
And how fucking wrong were you, David?
Well,
first
I
of all,
was
you have
wrong.
to remember what you said.
I was wrong, but did she get any points for winning challenges?
And there are reasons why she got there. And there's one other major reason why.
I didn't know about the QVC points at the time.
The QVC points were important.
Yeah,
she's likable. She's legitimately one of the most popular people that has ever been on Drag Race, right? I think it was Daya that posted, and she said, "Yeah, while I was making this look, I was working on it late night, overnight, one of the PAs came to my door and said, "Hey, Cuckoo sent you these cookies to make sure that you were keeping your sugar up because she knows you're working really hard."
Aw, that's
The
cute.
nicest human being
that?
on the planet.
Cuckoo does that.
I love
Cuckoo
that.
does that. I love her. I love Cuckoo.
I'm so happy
Period.
for her.
Genie, you were gonna ask something though.
Oh, wait, I forgot what you were. I was gonna ask you what you were gonna complete your thought. You were saying something about, there's another reason why. What's the reason why? There's one more reason why she's got the point.
Well, I was gonna say there was another reason why Cuckoo made it through. And I love our girl Denali. Denali refused to play the game. I'm sorry, but Denali refused to play the game. And it's like, I get it. You're here for Drag Race. But she didn't game. And this version of All Stars is a game.
This is RuPaul's Best Friend Race.
And she didn't, and I love Denali with every fiber of my being. I wanted Denali to get through. In an ideal world, in my scenario, Denali makes it through to the semifinals.
Instead of
Ginger.
Really?
I love Ginger. I love Ginger. This is not based on her performance in this bracket. She deserves to make it through based on her performance in this bracket. I just didn't need to see Ginger for a fourth time.
Again, yeah, I know.
But I'm rooting for her. I love Ginger. I love Ginger fiercely. I'm rooting for her. I would like to see her finally get a win. But yeah, my ideal top three out of this bracket would have been Denali, Cuckoo, and Acid, to be 100% frank. That's just based on who I like the most. But I also love Daya, and I love Ginger, and I do really like Alyssa. So, like, this bracket was difficult for me. But, like, unfortunately, Denali just didn't really play the game of this season.
She could have. She could have been in the top two. She could have.
And unfortunately, we'll talk about it more, but she just didn't. And it made her suffer. But
yeah, I think also trying to do an accent for the improv challenge too made it.
Well, I can't wait to talk about it because it was but
it kind of reminds me of those people on Survivor that hear their names going around, and then there's some like, oh my god, I'm playing Survivor. I need to like wake up and try to get something going, but by the time they do, it's too late. Because I think a little bit of the end of this episode, she tried a tiny bit, but by then it was far too late.
It just didn't work out in time. But we go to the next day in the workroom, and we're starting drama again. And guess who's the drama this time? It's Alyssa Hunter.
Am I the drama?
It's Alyssa Hunter. And okay, I appreciated Ginger bringing up, not like no one celebrated the fact that she won. And I'm glad she brought it up. Because she did win. And she deserved to be celebrated for it, just like everybody else does.
Absolutely.
Every single time somebody wins a challenge.
Yeah, no matter who's upset about it, someone will let's celebrate celebrate the winner.
Yeah.
Maybe they think it's a foregone conclusion. Like, and again, like the game is it's a game, whatever. I wonder if like from the beginning, did some of the other queens read the writing on the wall and think, okay, they're gonna push Ginger, which I don't think is the case. I think you could be a country bumpkin queen and fail at a country challenge. You could. It just anything can happen. You don't know how it's gonna work out. You could be bad at the choreo, something could happen. People could, whatever. So there's no real way to control that stuff, I don't think. I agree. But I wonder if they kind of gravitated towards Ginger because they know that she's, I don't know, they thought she was going to do well. So they maybe underappreciate the value of the win. Like they think it's like, well, you're just good. So.
Yeah. And also I think, I don't know, maybe somebody who has actually been on Drag Race will disagree with me, but I kind of think the queens, the safe queens in the back might be the least qualified to determine who won the lip sync because they're not lip syncing for you. They're looking forward, especially Ginger when it's about selling it with her face.
Yes.
You're not seeing that. The judges are. So what do you know, Alyssa?
Yeah, exactly. And she's also like, maybe that's Alyssa's style. Maybe Alyssa's style is more in the vein of Denali's style, like more physical, more movement, less like, less presence in that way. And Denali lives in her body. She does ice skating. Like she lives in her body. It's not all up here. Ice skating, you can't see people's face that much. You're like, it's a blur of rhinestones and whatever on the ice. She's movement. She's movement. She's shapes. She's not necessarily here.
Yeah, as Michaela Couture told us, we can only see the back of your head, bitch.
Yeah.
So there you go. But yeah, they're rehashing their drama, and then Daya brings up the drama again. I don't care to talk about this because guess what? Daya brings up the drama 15,000 more times in this episode, so we'll talk about it again. But we get our maxi challenge, and we are doing the Golden Bitchelor. Now, I done thought, Drag Race producers, come to the front. Come to the front. Because I thought when you said Golden Bitchelor, we were getting old dogs. Because that's what the Golden Bachelor is men and women of a certain age. And we got one old, because there was one old. Well, there's three olds, in this bracket. But no, we're doing it. It's a golden retriever.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I heard it. It was like, oh, golden.
No, because I was going off of the actual show, and I was upset
when the
I
actual
was expecting
show came
old
out.
Dogs.
When Golden Bachelor came out, I didn't know. I was working at Disney at the time, and ABC is part of whatever. So I didn't know. I just heard the name in passing. I thought that actual show was actually about a golden retriever. I was like, oh, that's a fun little thing. I thought it was like a fun promo idea or something, like a cute like adoption event. Like how they have like the puppy bowl and stuff like that. I thought it was like that. And then I was like, oh, it's an actual show. And it was actually about older people dating, which is amazing. Great. Go find your partner. I love it.
Just as messy. None of them have worked out.
Oh, they didn't? Oh, shit.
None of them have worked out.
No, I thought it was different with the older folks.
No.
You know what? There is that show on Netflix that's Later Daters, produced by Michelle Obama. And that's good. That's like real. I hope some real romances come for these older people. They're staying in shape. They have the arms. They're, Michelle Obama style. So let's hope for some love for some older people.
One of my favorite Cards Against Humanity cards, Michelle Obama's arms.
Absolutely. Okay, so Golden Bitchelor, we see it's about doggies, which is adorable.
Yes, everyone gets assigned a dog character and a partner. Okay.
That's
another
the
partner challenge.
Didn't care about that. Didn't mind that.
I did.
Problem, I know, babes. My issue here, in fact, is that they got assigned their partners. I don't like that. I have never liked it when the show is like, here are your partners, except for the Frenemies challenge on season 4, because there was a reason for that. Every other time we have done, this is your partner, have it. I have not been a huge fan.
Not your partner, have it.
It's just because I feel like it's another way for production to meddle. And like, I get it. I know that's what they're doing. I know that's the whole point. But like, any of these characters could have fit in any of these scenes. They didn't need to have these characters in these scenes. So like, I don't know. I just wish they could have picked the part, even if they gave them the roles, right? Like we've had assigned roles before. I don't mind that, but assigned partners, not a fan.
But here's my question: why wasn't this judged in partners, RuPaul?
Well, they didn't come up with the whole concept together. They just had to
They
had to be in the seat. They had to be in the scene together.
Genie,
so they're kind of, because it's improv, right? So you've got to all play together. So they're not. I mean, yes, all 3 of these people should make the scene funnier. But I don't know if you all noticed in the editing, they didn't show us too much of the. I don't know. Maybe improv doesn't work like this, like where you can cut it for TV show format. But like, we're missing all the in-betweens where they do build on each other's things or they don't build on it. We didn't see that. The judges saw it. We didn't see it. We couldn't see it. They couldn't cut that into shape for us to get it.
True, which actually frustrated me with a critique that somebody got later on, because I'm like, oh, I bet that was planned. I bet that was, we'll get into it, but
I'm frustrated because production is not not doing great at dropping the riggery allegations. Because why? I'm sorry, but why is the first challenge judged in partners and this challenge isn't if it's a partner challenge?
Because that's how they've always done partner challenges. It's all like across almost every season of Drag Race, it's been the first thing you do in teams or in pairs is judged in teams or in pairs.
And I'm going to bring up the inconsistency every time it happens because it angers me.
Look, in a perfect world, Layla McQueen would have been in the bottom 2 against Cynthia in season 8 and still went home, and that's okay. And Dax exclamation point would have went further. Okay, in a perfect world.
Oh no, we don't need that anymore.
Well, I don't know anything about Dax. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not. Oh, there's nothing bad about her. It's just.
I do think it's funny though that you asked a question. Why are they not judging this one in partners? And Genie proceeds to give you logic on why not. And you're like, I don't care. I don't care.
Your logic. Oh no, your logic is sound. Your logic is sound. I'm just pissed off because I'm like inconsistency.
I know.
It's just. But anyway, we have Alyssa and Ginger because of course. We have Daya and Denali as a duo, and finally Acid and Cuckoo. Oh, how good! How lovely!
Yeah.
So, I didn't really have anything much from the preparation part of this situation, because it was just, what do you think? I don't know. What do you think? And then Alyssa and Ginger resolve their drama.
Yeah,
that's really it.
I thought that was interesting to see Ginger. It seemed like a little bit of vulnerability there, like worry, like kind of like not off her game, but feeling like shooketh a little bit by by the whatever statement by Alyssa. But I think at that point, it's interesting to see because it's hard for me to imagine a queen like Ginger ever being shaken by any other queen's comment. You know what I mean? Even offhand, whatever. Especially from someone like Alyssa, who is like not a major player in the post Drag Race like scene. You know, she's a great queen, amazing, of course, but she's not as Ginger is the one who's doing Voss events and doing this and doing that. She's doing Drag Race Vegas or Drag Race. She's doing a lot of stuff. So, and she's been on 17 seasons now. So she's so it's surprising to see queens of that caliber who are that visible and have been on the stage that many times can still feel that kind of like hurt on the stage and in a filming situation is real.
We've also never really had anybody question Ginger's wins or her performance before on the show. Like even when she went home in All Stars 2, which again I don't think she should have even been at the bottom that week. That was Alaska, and we all know it. Ginger, when she came back, she's like, "Look, you can say what you want, but let's not act like we don't know what you were doing, because I should not have went home." And like from there, I mean, she's a 2-time finalist for a reason. She's usually not unusually. I think she was a great performer on All Stars 2. Every time she's been on the show, she's been great. We haven't seen anyone else ever really question her skill on the show, and maybe this is just how it manifests for her.
Yeah, I definitely see that for sure. I'm glad they resolved their situation like immediately, and I'm also really happy that Alyssa was very receptive to it, just being like, no, we both need to focus on the challenge. I get it. Like I'm not here to focus on that. Like at the end of the day, there's still a shot for her to make it into the semifinals, like there is for everybody else here. So at the end of the day, like, get your bag, girl. Like there was a chance. It was slim, but there was a chance. So do the best you can, girl. So, but with that being said, I think we should talk about the Bitchelor, the Golden Bitchelor. So. Let's talk about our Golden Bitchelor. Oh, hi, Zane. Hi.
Look, I had a revelation as soon as he popped up. I was like, wait, am I into puppy play? Am I into that? Maybe.
Well, I will say pups are a little bit different, David.
Oh.
Because I know you have zero experience with them.
Yes.
And as someone that does, it's a little bit different. It's definitely not this usually.
This is more like furry? No, almost.
This is more furry adjacent
yeah.
than pup play. Because
It wouldn't matter because it wouldn't be on for very long.
Well, that's fair. But like pup play, you have like usually like the mask and there's like a whole situation.
More
but,
leathery.
like, yeah, a little bit more usually. But like the energy, I gotta be honest, I agree with you. The energy he was giving was very attractive. I was into the energy. And something tells me that may be an energy. I'm not assuming things, but that may be an energy that he may, be used to. Let's just say that. I wouldn't be surprised. But no, I thought he was lovely. I admittedly haven't seen Fire Island. So I didn't know who he was. And I was pleasantly surprised by this beautiful man I had never seen before. Because
he's not one of the main two characters in it, though. I think he's just like one of the friends. So I didn't even remember he was in that, but I think he had brown hair.
Oh. Well, I was like, he's cute and he's funny. Great. Okay, cool. We're on board. And like, he's a great improver.
He was the second best part of this challenge for me.
I agree. Honestly,
there was one person that every time they were on screen, I was cracking up.
Well, yes.
And then, we might not be talking about the same person.
We might be talking about the same person.
We shall see.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. Bring him back for more things. I would like to see him on more things, actually. I think he was lovely.
Pit crew.
Yeah. But
RuPaul Celebrity Pit Crew. That's going to be the game show.
The collar and the ears.
I mean, Lamaze kind of did that. They had their own show for Veneno.
They did. I wouldn't be mad at it. But let's talk about our lovely, wonderful improvers here. We have Rudy the Poodle. I'm not even going to try. Alyssa, your character girl, that name, no. Danielle the Spaniel, Ginger Mange, .com, and Maria.
Danielle the Spaniel.
Danielle the Spaniel. And Maria. Just Maria. Well, all of the names, but Maria. Genie, what did you think of the challenge overall? Who stood out to you? Give us your thoughts.
I think the challenge was really fun and playful. I think improv is much better choice than any kind of scripted challenge on Drag Race. No matter how hard the writers try, it is just too hard it's acting is a skill, comedic acting is a skill. The material has to be, everything has to be in place for that to work. Improv, more surprising, more fun. I think it gives the show a lot more to play with when they're editing and to show us some fun stuff. I think who stood out to me was for sure Ginger and Acid Betty. I think those are the two strongest for me. Ginger, okay, I'll say about Ginger, I thought she did the best. I will also say she was playing Steve's mom from Sex and the City. That was the character she was playing. Brady, like with the beer can, that's Steve's mom.
I have been trying to place Ginger's character.
It was that, right? It was her.
Day. Thank you, Genie.
It was
I have been trying, yes, because I've been trying to place her character I'm the only one here that got said, but I see you, Genie. Thank you, Genie. I've been trying to place her fucking character. Thank you.
Staten Island, Long Island, Staten Island lady who drinks and is like,
Thank you very much. I wouldn't be surprised if that is literally the inspiration for this character.
Oh yeah. Which is fine. It was great, and she did a great job. She's hilarious. And then I think Acid Betty was the next best. She was great. She had fun. It looks, it's a different kind of look for her, but it's great. I mean, they're all dogs, so it's different for all of them. But it was, I think. She was great when she was yelling. The guy Zane was like reacting. They played well together. I think who did not do well to me was Betty. Just was like too much in there. I don't know, trying really hard, but too much in there. How do I say too much in there? Like with improv, you can't control the situation. You have to play together. I don't think she was playing. Neither was Alyssa. I think the rest, I think those two did the best. The other four were in the bottom. No one was in the middle to me.
Okay.
Well, I agree with pretty much everything Genie just said. I will say my personal standout and the person I found to be the funniest out of anyone here was Acid Betty. I cracked the hell up every time Acid opened her mouth. I honestly thought she kind of did better than Ginger, and maybe that's just me. Because I think, to me, I think Ginger was hilarious, don't get me wrong. But, like, I didn't really get much of the first responder part of her character in the improv. Not saying it wasn't there, because there was a little bit. But, like, literally, Acid was a Doberman who was a dominatrix. I'm here for it. It worked. I thought it was fun. It was great. And I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed Ginger. I didn't mind Daya as much. I personally thought Daya was okay. I thought Cynthia was funnier than Daya, though. I laughed at a decent chunk of Cynthia's stuff. Did not laugh a single time at Alyssa. Not one joke landed for me. Her taking off the coat was so unbelievably awkward for me. Like, I get really bad secondhand embarrassment watching reality TV sometimes. Like, this and, like, Carly on Claim to Fame are the two things that are sticking in my mind right now of, like, cringe. I cringed so hard. And also, I didn't particularly find Denali even remotely enjoyable in this challenge. The only thing that I liked that Denali did was the kick the leg out of the bath thing. I thought that was like a good joke. But other than that, like, nothing really landed with the character for me. Yeah, my top two were Ginger and Acid, not in that order.
So in the opposite order.
Correct.
Got it.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna have some hot takes here. I'm gonna just tell you my ranking, and I'll start from my least favorite take and go to my favorite. But my least favorite overall was Alyssa. I thought she started off pretty strong. I actually thought it was funny when she took off the coat and you saw that she was like breastfeeding some dogs. But I don't think it really went anywhere. It just started to feel like, oh, I'm just watching Alyssa in a dog costume. She looked great, though. One of my favorite looks out of anybody. And then, like, it already can be a little difficult to understand her with her accent. But when you're eating and talking and answering things, it's just like, I don't know what you're saying, girl. So she was my least favorite by a decent margin. I thought the other five did varying levels of well. Okay. Y'all are going to hate me for this. The person I had in fifth was Acid Betty.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought that her characterization was such a genius idea. I mean, it was kind of handed to her, but she took it and went a great direction with it. Yeah. The whole, like, every time I'm going to say like a command, I'm going to deepen my voice. That was so funny. But I've given this sort of critique before where when you have a good, like, funny idea and we see it and then that's just what it is. And like, it didn't change. That was the whole same thing.
Okay.
I get that.
I wanted to see different dynamics to the performance than this one funny thing over and over again. Because
maybe that's why the judges didn't award her to, because they would see the whole thing and we only saw little snaps of it. You're reading, like, that makes sense. It makes sense.
It's like diminishing returns a little bit. Sorry, Brooke.
But, like, anytime I think about, like, one-note performances on Drag Race, some of my favorite comedy performances on Drag Race are one note. Like, I'm thinking about Kennedy Davenport in Snatch Game as Little Richard. It's the same joke 8 times, but it's so funny, and I don't know why.
And I think the interesting part of that is there's the nuance of how many times do you do it to where like what is the criteria then, and how many times do you need to do it, and how effective does each one need to be for it to be successful for people? Because I think there is a difference, because I agree with you, Brooke. I think, you know, some of my favorite performances here have been, you know, the people that have that one shtick and they work with it, and it you know, they drive the shtick home and it works. But it doesn't always land that way. It's kind of a big hit or miss. I'll talk about it more when I get to my rankings here shortly. But I see where you're coming from here, David, where it just didn't land for you, but in the way that, like, for the rest of us, it did work.
It did land, but it only landed so many times.
I know, and that completely makes sense. Yeah. Absolutely, I get that.
Mm-hmm. The person I had in fourth place was Diabetti, actually. I thought she did well, but I wish she hadn't had the realization, oh, this is already me. Because a lot of what she presented was her. Even she was one of the few people that didn't do anything with her voice. She just spoke normally. I think her funniest moments might have been kind of accidental moments. Like, I thought it was so funny when she was talking about his hands and she's like, oh, arms, pause. I thought that was so funny. And then she had the little meow at the end. So she had her funny moments, but I wish she had been assigned something more different from her. That goes back to what Genie was saying, that sometimes it's good to be something that doesn't match what you're already like.
You can surprise people. Mm-hmm. And earlier in the bracket, Ginger and Daya, when they were going to do the good and evil thing, right? They were about, like, Ginger was like, I want to do evil. And Daya was like, let's keep it to what we were good at for this, which might have been smart strategy, right? Like, you don't need to surprise them right away. But at some point you do. And honestly, sorry, I know we're going to get to it. Logan, your thoughts on these queens. Yeah. But I was looking at all 6 of these on screen. It does make me think this bracket in particular, I just don't see much growth from these queens from the first time we saw them or the last time we saw them to where we see them now. I don't see. Acid Betty's always been incredible in her own way.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see more dimension from her this time. But I don't know, maybe I just don't see it, but I don't see these queens having evolved a lot or dramatically since the last time they were on our screens. Doesn't mean they're not great, just not different substantively.
I think there's 2 queens that we've seen a lot more, not necessarily growth from, but I think there's 2 queens we've seen a lot more dimension from in the drag race space in this bracket. And I would say those 2 queens are Acid and Cuckoo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we just didn't see a whole lot of breadth of challenge performance from either one of them, really. And I think seeing them both in this bracket, I think a lot of our commentary has been just being genuinely really surprised by how good both of them have been doing in this bracket. And for especially Cuckoo, because, you know, love Cuckoo down. She previously had two of the more abysmal Drag Race performances in her 2 previous seasons. And I'll say that as a major Cuckoo fan coming into this season.
Agreed.
She had never been great at Drag Race. She had been one of those girls that was not great at Drag Race, but great at drag, because we love her. And she is a great drag queen. And I love that finally in this season, we're getting to see her finally succeed at Drag Race. And it's been so fucking rewarding to see it.
Truly.
And I'll talk about my feelings on the improv here in a moment. But it's just, it's so fucking rewarding to see it. And to see Acid get some dimensionality in her Drag Race storyline. Like you said, Genie, we've always known Acid Betty is an incredible performer and an incredible drag artist. I'm so happy we've gotten to really see the full, well-rounded character and person that is Acid Betty in this bracket. And I think that's what's been the most important part of this. This bracket wasn't about growth. This bracket was about professionalism and dimensionality. And that's why a lot of people aren't resonating with it, because it's not the big transformation. It's not the Irene and the Bosco and the Aja. It's not the big drama with the Mistress and the Georges and, you know, Nicole Page Brooks coming in and being an icon and Lydia just coming off of season 17. It's not anything like that. these are consummate professionals coming in and doing a good job at Drag Race, and people are just bored by that. But at the end of the day, consistency-wise, these are 3 of the best challenges we've had this season, and no one's talking about that. And I'm pissed off about that.
I agree.
Because these girls have fucking killed this bracket.
They did.
All of them have killed this bracket. Every single one of these girls should be so fucking proud of the way they killed this bracket. Every single one of them. Even Alyssa.
I was about to say except for Serena. But like
except for Serena.
yeah, like and I will again repeat, coming into the season when I heard about the format and I heard how everything was going to go, I wasn't really looking forward to it. I thought this was going to flop. I thought this structure was going to be bad. I have never been happier to have been wrong. I think this was a fantastic format. We got to see 18 girls each get 3 episodes. And I'm telling you right now, I can tell you something that all 18 of them did on this season. I cannot remember the last season of Drag Race where I can say every single person on this cast had a moment that I will remember.
Prison, honey. There you go.
You know, there's I can think of like specifically 4 all-star seasons where it felt like the fan base was like, oh, I'm refreshed. This is actually exciting me about All-Stars again. And those were All-Stars 2.
Yep.
All-Stars 6.
Yep.
And All-Stars 10. It happens every 4 seasons. I don't know what those have in common.
I think
there we
go. I would say regular US seasons as well. Season 14 stuck out to me as one where everyone had something, like the way that the way that it laid out everyone, even like June Jambalaya had its chocolate, you know, like there was like everyone had a moment and that carried through. So it's kind of interesting.
And 6 of those girls are on this season. So
there you go. Yeah.
Well,
Season, yeah.
Not talking about 14, something I think is that this season and season 14 both have in common is even if they know they are only going to have half of these girls for 3 episodes, they are going to feature them for 3 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Because season 14 gave us content for literally everybody. Like, I would say the person who got the least amount of content on season 14 was Alyssa Hunter. And I mean, even then, I can think of multiple things that happened to Alyssa Hunter on season 14. So, like, I really think that having these big casts is okay if we do that in a way that lets them all be featured, and they did that, and I'm so happy to see it.
Yeah,
that's why I'm happy All Stars 11 is the same format. Spoiler. Anyway, sorry, not to hijack your ranking, David.
No,
sorry,
okay.
Go ahead, my love.
It's okay. I love it being a conversational thing still.
No, and I love it so much. It's just. I feel so refreshed watching this season of Drag Race. And we watched so much Drag Race. Not to go on another tangent, I will let you get back to it, David. But we watched so much Drag Race here that eventually, I'll be honest, it does get a lot, all the time. This is the first season in a while that I'm like, okay, I'm back in on Drag Race. Like I fucking love this season. I've loved every bit of this season. But yes, Dave, your ranking.
Okay, my number 3, which this might be a hot take, I guess, but was Denali. I thought she was one of the queens that took the most liberties with her character. Like, she found ways to expand upon what was just given to her. I actually really liked the idea of doing the accent. I thought that was so funny, and she did it really well. Like, she's the Cockney Cocker Spaniel. And even like she's almost become that meme of the emotional support dog that like is kind of traumatized because she's so nervous. She even painted her eyebrows like going up, like giving that kind of worried look the whole time. So I thought that was so smart. She had a lot of funny moments. I thought she was consistent. If I were judging on a team, I probably would have picked Daya and Denali, even though they're my 2 middle people. But yeah, I thought she did well.
But that means, David.
It does. I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
What?
We can. This is a great segue to my number 2 of the week, was none other than Miss Cuckoo herself.
Wow.
We won!
Wow.
Cuckoo stands rise up.
I'm like, earlier when Logan was like, oh, I think Daya did do better than Cuckoo this episode. I'm like, well, I guess we're going to disagree.
Maybe I was lying all along.
Immediately, I was laughing out loud with her character. I hope he's hot. He's hot. Just the whole character was so funny. And I just actually one of the highlights for me was when Acid Betty like said, "Oh, it's the burrito dog." She's like, "No, I'm not," and it wasn't a burrito. It was a chalupa. Like that is not an example of somebody shutting somebody down.
Michelle Visage to the front, bitch. Shut the fuck up about the rules of improv, bitch. You're not an improver. Shut the fuck up.
And also, they did it right. They did it right because the idea from who was it? Alyssa? Who was it? Who was her partner?
Acid.
Yeah, the idea from Acid was mistaking her for the Taco Bell Chihuahua. That was what she put out there. So she was playing along. That was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, that was part of the plan. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
So fucking mad at Michelle. Michelle, shut the fuck up with your no improv knowledge mouth.
Yeah. For me, it really felt like they were trying to justify her not being in the top with some of these critiques. And while she did have my least favorite look, but the way they went so hard on it, like it was atrocious, it wasn't nearly as bad as they were making it out to be.
I like literally every part of that look other than the actual ribbon. I think the way the lanterns looked was actually kind of unique and cool. Yeah. I didn't care for the way the ribbon looked at the front. I think all the way up until it literally like the chest part of it, where it actually came together and it like overlapped. It looked kind of bunched up and clunky, but everything else in that look looked good to me. And like,
if you'd like to know our full thoughts on the runway looks, make sure to check out Look Over Here, where we will be talking about them in full. Ding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what I like about Cynthia, I think where she really shines for me is when she's doing this over-the-top, deranged, like sometimes mad energy, especially everything she does with the chancla. I wish that had come out into this as well. If she had the chancla as a prop, maybe she was chewing on it like a sandal. That would have been amazing. But she was so good. But for me, it's no surprise. I think the most consistent person in this bracket has been Ginger. I thought she was so funny. Her character was perfect. She did lots of little things. She would not let go of that drink. She kept using it as a prop. She kept finding opportunities to throw in one-liners. She is a professional when it comes to comedy. And I'm just so happy she's on my TV because she's somebody that's so reliable for me. I thought the first two times she made it to the finale, she was the person I was rooting for to win. She might be the person I'm rooting for to win this season too. I still want to see how the next couple episodes play out. But yeah, Ginger killed it.
So my rankings are going to be, fairly similar to David's. I got to be honest. Also, I was lying earlier. I rewatched the challenge while we were doing this on mute just to give myself. I've watched it now 3 times. Give myself context. Oh yeah, never mind.
I just want to throw in one more thing that I forgot to bring up. But when she said something about Brandy, and then she said, "Have you ever?"
Have you ever?
Which is the name of a Brandy song, but he was like, right.
Copyright.
I was like, I hope people get that because I thought that was hilarious.
That's my favorite Brandy song. So for me, I immediately was like, look at me getting everybody's references today, David. I see you, David.
I'm proud of you. I know Genie got it, right?
No, I did not at all.
I am the only one that got it here. It's me, David, today.
I love when she was usually up close. I thought it was good.
It's usually Lana. Today it's me.
I thought it was funny, even if I didn't know the reference, because it kind of reminded me a little bit of Ben doing Paul Lynde of I don't know who the hell you are. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but you're doing it in such a fun way that I'm entertained.
Yeah. And the way Ginger just subtly slides in a Brandy quote of all fucking artists for her to quote, it's Brandy.
Mother.
I'm sorry. Like, Jesus.
Brandy mother, Ginger mother. Mother's all the way.
Correct. Absolutely.
Sorry, you may continue.
Thank you. I don't have a whole lot to say that I haven't already said, and everybody else's, to be fair. My rankings are pretty consistent with where the group has been. I think Alyssa for me was 6th, but I don't think it was a bad performance by any means of the imagination. Unfortunately for Alyssa, it is just the same kind of characterization and the same kinds of crutches that she's been falling on in characterization and in improv that we've seen from her, both on this season and on season 14. And that's just the character she was given, unfortunately. I don't really think she could have stepped outside of that much with a mother with 17 children. Like, I think she could have. I think she could have. I think there's a way to do like rundown mother, but that's just not in her wheelhouse. I think any of the other 5 queens here could have done something better with that character. Alyssa just didn't have the comedic chops to really do anything with it. I don't think she did bad by any means. I think she played off of Ginger really well. She, had her little bitchy moments, and I think those were really, really good. But compared to everybody else here, she was 6th for me. My 5th favorite here was Daya. Overall, it's really, really close. Like, these 5, for me, I think did a really, really good job. I really enjoyed this improv challenge. I thought everyone here did a really good job. I also have, maybe a lower bar for improv. Personally, I find a lot of things funny. So for me, it doesn't take a lot for me to laugh. For me, what puts Daya a little bit lower is a lot of the things that you were talking about, Genie. She tried to control the scene instead of letting the narrative flow between her and Zayn. And I really would have liked to see her loosen up. Now, did she do a good job? Yes. Was her spot in the top 2 deserved? I would say so, because a lot of people did really well here. For me, I wouldn't have given it to her, personally. I see why they did, because ultimately she did do good. Her physical comedy was what shined in this challenge. And especially in the flea bath with Denali, that's where she shined the most. And I think their partner work, I agree with you, David. If they were judged in partners, I would have given the win to Daya and Denali, because I think they worked the best together as a duo in this challenge. I think they had the best camaraderie. I think they had the best back and forth, which then leads into my number 4, which is Denali, because I think Denali did a good job. I think she had a strong characterization. I actually agreed with the judges here, where I was a little bit confused by the characterization to start. I like adding the nervousness to the emotional support dog. I like that she made the switch in the flea bath situation. But there were some things that were still a little confusing about her characterization. Improv is not Denali's strong suit, unfortunately, so I didn't expect her to, fully slay. But the characterization was always spot on, and she was always in character. So I will give her major props for that. I thought she did do a great job with the character.
And that's the first step of it, is to have a point of view. So, like, she may not have been the strongest at the back and forth, but she had a point of view. I think Ginger had a point of view. Acid had a point of view. Cuckoo had a point of view. To me, the one that was like the miss on the point of view is Daya, because she could have been elevated and haughty and like sort of like grand.
And she tried to.
Yeah, but she ended up being more catty.
Yeah.
That's what you did. You
have to be a dog. Why are you trying to be catty?
Yeah.
She did meow.
Yeah.
She did meow, and I did like the meow. I gotta be honest, I did like the meow. But yeah, I definitely think for me, Denali had one of the more consistent characterizations, and I did appreciate that. But I thought our bottom row, as we're seeing the visual here, was stronger. My third place was Acid. I think Acid did a really great job. I would have loved to see Acid in the top for this challenge, honestly. Given challenge and runway, I think probably the top two should have been Ginger and Acid. And so did everyone else in Untucked. We'll talk about it. So, you know, it should have been. I loved the back and forth and the dichotomy of what was going on in the challenge. Every time she went to that deep voice, I loved every bit of it. None of those judges have clearly ever interacted with a true dominatrix, because they clearly don't understand that a dominatrix, in a lot of sense, and not all of them, but some of them do have, you know, the sweet voice element to them. And then there's the dominant part of it, where you're going to be told exactly what to do. And it's a very stern voice. But then we're going to go back to a very lovely voice and a very wonderful voice and all things like that. That's very common. So clearly, none of them have the experience to be judging on things like that.
Well, and also, when speaking on that specifically, Acid talked about like relating to this and like understanding this community really well. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, yes, because your characterization is like borderline perfect.
She was hinting.
You know,
yeah, for sure. She was like,
"Oh, you know, Acid is a kinky bitch."
Mm-hmm.
Girl, that entrance look was all I needed on season 8 to know that she was a kinky bitch. I love.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, and then finding out that her that Betty is directly inspired by Betty Page. I was like, where's Xana? Where's Xana? Bring me Xana with that incredible Snatch Game performance as Betty Page. Where is Xana? I need Acid and Xana to do a show right now together. That's what I need.
And Violet Chachki.
Oh, and Violet. Yes, I need the three of them together.
That'd be pretty incredible.
I need the three of them together desperately. I was hoping David would be paying attention, but he is not. We're moving on. Anyway.
You clocked my tea.
I sure fucking did, and I'd do it again, my love. My second place here, and I have reasoning, is Ginger. I think Ginger did a great job. I think Ginger did a very consistent job. It was hilarious. Top to bottom, left, right, and center. Hilarious. Every single bit she did was great from the moment she walked in. You know, resting on the dog walker as she came in. Everything was great. The characterization pulling from probably Sex in the City. I think we've decided, Genie, probably Sex in the City. I think all of it was great. I wanted something different for Ginger. This was not unique and different for Ginger. And I know there wasn't a whole lot for her to go. There weren't too many places for her to go with this character. I understand that. I wanted to see Ginger push herself in this challenge. She knew she was making it to the semifinals. I wanted to see Ginger take a risk.
You know what it could have been? And Brooke, you had mentioned you didn't see much first responder in there. I think you mentioned that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If she could have done butch lesbian EMT, like she could have done that.
I would have loved that.
That would have been a risk, and it would have made sense. But she didn't do the, and who knows how much they were meant to do the thing, you know?
Yeah.
But like with Denali, she did emotional support dog, but found a twist based on the joke that we know that the meme of like, you know, you are their emotional support human, etc. So like she found a twist on it. But yeah, I think you're right. Ginger could have pushed into something more, I don't know, more unexpected.
And I have such high standards for Ginger. Honestly, is what it is. I love Ginger. I think she's so stupid talented. But honestly, my chancla's up for Cuckoo. I've got the chancla. Chancla! Cuckoo was my favorite here in this challenge. Every single fucking time she was on my screen, I was dying laughing. Every single time I was dying laughing. The makeup? Can we talk about the makeup on Cuckoo in this challenge?
Beat her face down.
I did not know Cuckoo had the makeup skills to do this, and I was thoroughly impressed. Like you said, David, the moment when she walks in, oh God, I hope he's hot. I loved every bit of it. I thought it was so good. I think, and this is where Cuckoo went for Cuckoo went for it.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I'm going to take this character, but I'm going to take it with this religious twist. And I got worried in the workroom when she was talking about it. I got real worried. It worked somehow. I don't really know how, but it really worked for me. And I loved her playing off of acid in the 2-on-1 date. I think they did a really, really good job. Every single moment Cuckoo was on screen, I laughed.
I said last week that last episode was the most I've ever liked Cuckoo on Drag Race. Well, she already upped that and just
Yay!
There's something
we
about
turned David into a Cuckoo fan. We did. Yeah.
There's something about the upward trajectory of Cynthia Lee Fontaine on Drag Race for me, because I mean, I'll be 100% honest. I think there were times in the past where she hasn't always been great, but she's always found a way to make it enjoyable, right?
Yes.
And this, David, this is just my opinion, okay?
In my opinion, she has had one successful Maxi Challenge performance prior to this season.
Bitch perfect.
2 successful Maxi Challenge performances prior to this season. Bitch perfect and the news challenge on season 9. I actually think she did very good in that challenge. She shouldn't have been in the top by any means of the imagination, but she was still good.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But I'll be 100% honest. I'm really happy that they brought Cynthia back for no other reason. Like, again, when I heard that she was on the cast, I'm like, oh God, I'm worried for her. Yeah. And not because of anything about her, but one, I knew she'd been going through some health stuff recently. We know more now, but, and two, I just didn't know if she was in the place and if she was like, you know, mentally prepared for this. I think she came out fucking swinging all 3 of these episodes.
She could have easily won every single one of these episodes.
2 of them.
2 of them easily.
2 of them easily. 3 maybe.
3 maybe.
Debatably 3.
If you're judging the first challenge in pairs, I would have given it to her and Alyssa in episode 1.
She could have won it if it was in pairs.
I would have given it to her and Alyssa in episode 1, but that's a conversation we had in episode 7, which you can check out our episode 7 recap available now on the channel. Ding. But so they do the challenge, and we go back to the workroom the next day. They're getting ready for the runway, and guess what? Diabetti brings up the situation again.
Round 2 fight.
Round 4.
No, this is round 8,206.
Fight.
And this is where I'm gonna take my pin out from earlier. Because I felt so seen by Daya here. I gotta be honest. I was frustrated with her, but I did feel so seen because for me at least in this situation, all Daya wanted from Alyssa was for Alyssa to just listen to her explanation of why she was upset. I think that's all Daya wanted was just I think she just wanted to be like, hey girl, I just need to explain my reasoning for why I was upset. And I relate to that so fiercely as someone that like still, and I'm working on it. It's something I'm working on.
Okay,
I still, in a lot of ways, feel like I need to explain a lot of things in my life. But yes.
Yeah, understandable. But I think Alyssa did get it. And Alyssa was trying to say like, yeah, I get it. I just think she did better. I just think Cynthia Lee Fontaine did better than you think she did. I get it.
And I agree with that as well. Yeah.
And Daya was like, but no. Let me explain why I'm upset. You said you were going to give your point based on this, but you didn't. You can play the game however you want.
Oh, yeah.
And Alyssa's like, bitch, I'm not playing the game however I want. I'm giving the point to who I think did better. Legit, I think Cynthia Lee Fontaine did better. So it's like, to me, it's like Daya was not, we could see it like what you're saying. Of course, like you're not being heard. Maybe she felt like she wasn't being heard of like the explanation of why she was upset. But in that moment, she's not hearing Alyssa is what I was seeing.
Oh,
I was like,
and I
not hearing her
agree
at
with
all.
that. And I agree with that completely. I was so frustrated. And on the same point of that, I was so fucking annoyed with Daya. I was like, shut up. I love you. I love that you need to be heard. and I want you to be heard because I understand the need to be heard. Baby, she hears you. She's
heard
telling
it.
you need to listen to her just as much as you want to be heard by her in this moment.
Absolutely.
I also
You're
think
out.
if you want somebody to hear you and be receptive to what you have to say, you have to think about how you're going to deliver that. And she started, her very first sentence was, "Hey, I feel like my trust in you is shattered." It's like, okay, you're putting her on the defensive immediately by saying that. You're coming
Hey,
too
I
hard.
don't think I like you anymore. Listen to what I have to say.
Yeah, she could have asked.
Oh!
She could have asked her. She should have started the
Yeah.
question. And of course, it's hard to say. Cameras on.
Yeah.
It's stressful. You're
Pressure
filming.
cooker. We're
Yeah,
on
of course,
day
of
10 of their filming cycle here.
Of
so,
course.
obviously.
Yeah, but she could have asked. She could have said, "Hey, I was bothered. I was bothered. But why did you not give me the point? I thought you would give me the point. Why didn't you?" And give Alyssa a chance to say something and explain it versus coming in like how you're saying she came in, right? So,
yeah.
And that's where I was like, Alyssa's a real one. Like, her drag is not my favorite. She's not my favorite, but she's a real one. She's like saying the truth, and she's not trying to be bitchy. She's just, she's
Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
she's Puerto Rican. Honestly, I think that's what it is. She's just like, she just comes from a culture where people are going to, and I love Puerto Ricans, let me make that clear, but she just comes from an upbringing in that's just in her nature, where she's just going to be honest about things because that's just, and I love that about her. I love every single bit of Alyssa in these 3 episodes because she is completely unafraid to speak her mind to anyone. It does not matter who it is. And I love that so much.
Yeah. She seems like a tough person, and she assumes that she believes and sees that toughness in the other girls too, which is a nice thing. That's a compliment to be able to pay someone to say, "I think you're tough enough to hear me say this."
Yeah.
I would like to just go ahead and say, though, Daya's reaction to this is very neurodivergent coded.
Yes.
And this is coming from my personal experience. I don't care if you agree with me or not. I don't care if you, think I'm completely delusional, if you think my reasoning is bullshit. I at least want you to know where I'm coming from so often. Because one of the biggest problems, I mean, just for the record, in case this has never been mentioned on the channel before, hi, Autism 2025.
Hi, also Autism 2025.
Thank you very much. So, but for me, so many problems that I've had in my life have been because people didn't understand what I meant when I said something. So part of what I've done in my life is I've tried to clarify these things so that way people don't misinterpret what I'm saying, and they don't take what I'm saying out wrong, because it can really screw with relationships. It's cost me friends before. So being in a situation like this, especially when it's the last chance you're going to have to win, I mean, probably, at least for the foreseeable future, to make it to the second half of this bracket, to win a show that you've probably fantasized about winning ever since you started being a drag queen. Let's face it. I mean, Genie, you can speak on it more, but when you heard about Drag Race Thailand, right? I have to imagine you're like, oh, I'm gonna do that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You dream about it. You're aiming. And Daya's here, and you're on this major stage again, and it totally makes sense that she'd want to be understood in that moment. Like, it's everything's heightened, so that totally makes sense.
I do agree she could have went about it a better way. But I also think Alyssa kept on adding fuel to the situation after the fact, because Daya walks away and she goes to explain to Cynthia, which again, it feels like the same situation of, hey, I just want to be clear. This is not me trying to discredit you. I just want to understand from my perspective, right? Yeah. And then Alyssa keeps on adding fuel to the fire. And I understand that maybe she's feeling some type of way after the whole conversation. I get that. But it's like, she's already walked away. She's just moving on. It's okay. Thank you, Cuckoo, for making the situation end funny instead of really sad. Get the chocolate, Logan.
Chocolate for you. Chocolate for you. Chocolate for you. Yes. See now, and I want to clarify as well some of my frustrations with Daya here, and it has nothing to do actually with Daya. It's because I see myself in Daya literally right now, with a lot of situations I have going on in my life, where I just like, and my entire life has been not understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth because I don't know how to say the words that are coming out of my mouth 9 times out of 10. And this is a very new discovery for me, finding out, oh, that's autism. Got it. So I'm figuring that out. And I'm not saying that's what Daya is dealing with. I will not diagnose anyone with anything on this podcast. I am not a medical professional. But seeing what Daya was going through in this episode, I was like, I see you, girl. I understand you wanting to explain to everyone in this situation exactly how you feel, because you need to make sure that everyone is good in this situation. But also I was like, girl, I want you to be able to break out of that cycle, because you don't need to do that. And I want you to be confident enough in the words that you're saying and in the relationships that you have to not have to feel like you have to do that, because I know what that's like and it fucking sucks. And I hate feeling that way. And I know how horrible that feels. And it's just like, that's what I was frustrated the most with Daya in this, is like, I just hated every single time she kept bringing it up. It was like, baby, I get it and I understand it. I just didn't want her. I didn't want her to need to keep doing that. And that's what the frustration was, because I felt that. So I felt that push down deep in my soul, the way she was doing this, every like deep down in my soul, I felt the way that Daya felt in this moment. Like it was visceral, the way that I felt like,
Also, I would be shocked at this point if Daya didn't get an autism diagnosis during
at
the psych
this
eval.
point, baby, at this point,
What are we-
everybody's getting
we're
them on this
3 for
season.
18 at
You
this
got
point?
you got an autism
At
diagnosis.
this point,
You got
we're
an
3 for 18 on this season. So Werk.
Wait, who's the
Um,
third? Tina, Ginger.
And
Was it
who
just
was the
Tina and Ginger? Okay, maybe 2 for
Oh.
18.
2 for 18 so far.
Okay.
Did Irene say that too, or no? No, I'm not sure.
I don't remember Irene saying that.
I feel like,
I'm
yeah,
just gonna
maybe.
Google real quick.
We'll find out.
But
By the way, one of my funniest parts of the episode was actually right before this, when everybody comes in and Ginger's like, $10,000 if you all give me points. I got $10,000.
yes, Ginger.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was conflating when Hormona talked about that as well. My
Oh, yes,
apologies.
Ramona. 3 this year. 3
Three
this
that
year.
have-
on
okay,
Drag Race.
3 that have
Thank
been
you, new
open.
Drag Race psych team.
Yes, they did.
Because-
it's clear they must have gotten a new psychiatrist.
But no, they talked about it. A few
Yeah.
people have talked about it that have been on recently. Like Lydia said,
Yeah.
apparently it was a brand new team from like 17 and all starts for like the first appearance of the new
wow.
team. And
Oh.
I want to say real quick, as a person who struggled like hell to get an official diagnosis, because once you're over 18, it is so hard to get any neurodivergent diagnosis other than ADHD. And even then, that's not easy either. Thank you, Drag Race Psych team, for making something easy for these girls. Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Yep, currently dealing with that. So, yep, I know how bad that is. I barely squeaked by with a diagnosis myself. So, but yes, at this point, we've got Cynthia hitting everyone with a chancla, and we go to the runway. So we'll talk about our paper dolls in full on look over here. But Genie, who had your favorite runway looks this week?
Okay. You don't have an image of all the ones here?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'll say
No, sorry.
Cynthia Lee Fontaine, least favorite,
Yeah.
because we know why. But and I know the texture looked fun, whatever the things. But the thing with these kinds of looks, like with an unconventional material like paper, you have to transform the material. It has to not look like how it started. And those kind of like orbs and things, you can see it's from Amazon. We can see what it is. It's not been transformed enough. You stitch a couple of them together, it could have created something very magical. I think we just we lost David. Yeah, I think that one was not the best look. But let me think of what was a lovely one. Or should I wait till David gets back?
Oh no, keep going.
Okay, great. Let me think. What was I think Daya's was great. I thought it was unique. It was interesting. The bug inspiration. It looked really it looked
Yeah.
It was transformed, but you could still see it was made of something craft-like.
Which Marie Antoinette did you prefer?
Which Marie Antoinette? None of them. I've been just as over it as Michelle is. I think it's not that creative, but the Shakespeare thing was unique. It was a twist.
Ginger was not Marie Antoinette.
No, she wasn't.
I know, like, okay, no shade to anyone here, but Michelle, Victorian, Marie Antoinette. These are two different types of looks.
Yes.
Michelle,
come to the front.
Come to the front. Let me just start. Michelle, shut up with your no Marie Antoinette and that knowledge mouth.
Well, you fucked it up, so I'm gonna redo it. Michelle, come to the front. Shut the fuck up with your no Marie Antoinette knowledge mouth. No, I'm kidding. No, she clearly knows a lot about it because she's tired of it. And frankly, Genie, I agree with you. I am also tired of it. No one's done it. No one's done it better than Raja. True.
And that was transformed. It was like a look. It was a moment. I think at least there was a creative spin on this one with the Shakespeare and the the specific choices of that.
Yeah.
Who else was good? Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember now. But I mean, they were all okay. They were all great.
Yeah.
There was a couple of hits and misses.
A good runway overall.
Yeah, good runway.
But yes, we'll talk about runways in full over on Look Over Here. It'll be a fun discussion. I like the runway overall. I like when we do unconventional. That's always my favorite challenge on Project Runway. So, I love and speaking of Utica, I don't think we've talked about it on this channel at all, actually.
Project
Runway. Utica! Oh my god! Utica! So excited for her.
I'm happy for you, Utica. Yay.
I just want to say one thing about the runway.
Okay.
That was not Marie Antoinette, Michelle.
We just talked about it.
Oh, okay. Michelle was pissing me off this episode.
We literally, while you were gone, that was the entire rant we just went on. Was the
perfect. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, no, totally. Because Marie Antoinette is not the same time period as Shakespeare.
A couple of centuries off there, unfortunately.
Just a few. It's fine. Untucked happens, and it's not the most eventful Untucked in the world, other than Daya, once again, talking about this situation. And I felt so bad for Denali, because Miss Denali was trying to do her state of the Denali, and she was trying to get her little piece in to get her points, and Daya would not shut the fuck up. And it is, Genie, did you watch Untucked? Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna send you specific timestamps of
Okay.
Untucked.
Let's do it.
I need, after this, there's only a specific section you need to watch from this Untucked. But it is like everyone's sitting around and they're talking about, like, it's the discussion of like why people should get points in the like third situation. And so everyone's trying to talk about why they should get points. Daya is still just having a singular conversation with Alyssa about the same shit we've been talking about now for 2 episodes, basically.
Yeah. She's like, you can redeem yourself with this.
You can redeem yourself by giving me your point. And it's a whole situation. And Denali is sitting there so patiently, trying to butt into the conversation to give... she's trying to be
I think she was
patient.
quite impatient, actually.
She's trying to be patient. She is doing her best to be patient. Sitting there, giving great Denali faces, because of course she does, because she's Denali. Sitting there, trying to butt into the conversation. And then every other queen that is not Daya or Alyssa tries to butt into the conversation for Denali. Not for themselves, but for Denali, so that Denali can speak. Ginger tries to butt in to break up the conversation. Acid tries to butt in. Buku tries to all of them try to get Daya to shut the fuck up for 5 seconds so Denali can say something. And it is so funny and so frustrating and so relatable.
But also, should Daya not be allowed to just finish her points?
I mean,
Like,
yes,
what's wrong with waiting until she's done?
Baby needed, but she had been talking for several minutes at this point about
like
the
maybe
same
3 minutes
shit,
in the
about the same shit over and over. And I get it, and I understand. I love Daya. I love Daya dearly, but baby, shut up, girl. I love her though.
Shut up.
I didn't like that she was basically like, well, I don't know where our friendship will stand if you don't give me your point. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. So
you fucking she is lucky she was in the top 2, because otherwise Daya would not be in the semifinals.
All I'm gonna say is this: Daya, you were the bitch, but I love you anyway. I'm a huge fan.
You know, one thing I don't like about that is like, yeah, it's a little guilt trippy and the dangling the friendship, but when there's a little bit of a power dynamic with this stuff. Like, if you're one of the Voss events girls, if you're booked for Drag Race Live, if you're booked for the Voss tours, if you're booked for Work the World, there's a certain, it's a certain elevation. And so, and if you have a certain hold over certain fans, it does, I'm not saying Daya was doing this, but it does kind of have this scent of, I'll sick my fans on you. I'll make sure that the tides turn against you. I'll make sure that you're going to be villainized a little bit. And that's not, I don't think it's a nice thing to do that. I don't think she did that. I'm not sure. I don't think for sure she's not saying I'm going to do this, but it's like don't use these emotional things, because then it's going to become, as a Drag Race girl, it can become this stuff. It can snowball out of control.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah, I don't think she was doing that. I definitely don't see that, but I definitely see where it could be perceived as that. I think it's a very slippery slope and a very fine line. I think the thing with Daya specifically is I think there were so many instances of that on season 14 that didn't involve her, that I think she understands that dynamic enough. Like, I think so many of those happened, like with the Cornbread and Jasmine situation, where like those girls got sent so much hate. With the whole Maddie Morphosis situation, like she got so much hate.
Yes.
So I feel like that different season.
Oh, different season. Those 13. Oh, 13. Sorry. I get those confused. But yes. Around that era for sure.
Well, she's forgettable, so it's understandable why you she was on a different season. Well, I said what I said. But I definitely get it. I think point being, I think Daya has enough foresight to understand the Drag Race fandom.
Right.
And to understand, okay, I'm going to do enough to play the social strategic game of All Stars, but not piss off the fandom. And like we said, it's a very slippery slope. I can see where it can start to be perceived in that way, Genie. I agree with a lot of that. I think Daya knows where to stop and where to not cross the line. And I think she did that pretty, seeing the Untucked and seeing the whole situation. I think she did a good job at stopping.
More pleading for the point, pleading for
100%.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
And it did have a happy ending and then Tucked, because she was very pleased with what Alyssa did end up doing with her points, even though it didn't involve her. She was like, you absolutely redeemed yourself with this. So.
Yeah, and and I didn't see that in Talk, but seeing what Alyssa did, she gave it to Denali. Yeah. Because again, she was being real about what she thought what she should do, which proved that last time she was not just going off of whatever game's playing. She was giving the point to who she thought should get the point.
Exactly. Exactly. So let's talk. I didn't have anything else from Untucked. I don't know if anyone else did.
I didn't watch it, so no.
Great. David, I didn't either. So let's talk about our results, where we end up, everyone gets a little critique from the judges, because that's what we do on the last episode of the bracket, and I think that's sweet. Even if they don't do the greatest in the challenge, like Alyssa. But we got our top 2, and it is Ginger and Daya.
Wait,
Shocking.
shocking. But pause for 1 second before we get to this top 2.
Yes.
I wanted to say I want to compare the way that the points were handed out at the end to bracket 2. And I know there's been so much discussion about Mistress Isabel Brooks, etc. But I think like the realness of Alyssa saying like I think it should be Denali, the realness of Acid saying I think it should be however they've said it, they said the reasons why they're doing these things. I think there's something really nice and honest and real about that. I think the way that Mistress did it was so messy and unnecessary. She could have easily said, I'm going to give the point to X, Y, Z, whatever, because listen, I'm here for the game. And regardless of what promises were made, I want to compete. I'm a star. I should have been crowned last time. I'm going to be crowned this time. I'm here for it. And I know that's not I know you want to get there too, Carrie, but I want to be there too. I want to be in that finale. I want to be there. She could have just said that. That's real. That's like, okay, we get it. You want to win, baby. Get in there.
But she's not real, Genie. She's not.
She's not. She got to play some games, calling someone a bitch.
She's a child.
She's a child. She's throwing her toys. Deeply unpleasant. Just deeply unpleasant.
Agreed.
She just wants the House of Villains call, y'all.
I hope she doesn't get it.
She deserves it at this point, though.
She deserves it, and I hope she's first boot.
Who got it this past season? I forget.
Plain Jane.
Plain
Jane. Oh, and Generic Judy. Lovely. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Spoilers. Actually, no, they announced it.
They announced
that's
the
not
cast.
a spoiler. Yeah, I was going to say that's not a spoiler. Other seasons, it would have been a spoiler, but no, they did actually announce Plain Jane.
This is where... Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, no. Mine doesn't matter. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, to your point before about the dimension, like you were saying about this bracket having more dimension with the queens, that's what Mistress could have done. She had the opportunity to be like, I'm going to show you something real. And instead, it's like she wrapped herself further and further and further into this thing that she's created for herself.
And I'd love to put a pin in that because I'd love to talk about that when we get to our semifinalists. Because the dimensionality conversation is actually really fun to talk about with all 9 of our semifinalists.
Yes.
I think that's a fun conversation to have. Because not all of them have the dimensionality that I think they should have if they're semifinalists. But Ginger and Daya are our top 2. We all disagreed, I think.
I mean, look, am I mad at this top 2? No. I understand where the judges are coming from, even if I personally don't agree. I think Ginger was consistently great. I think that most of the girls this week did good. So I'm not mad. I'm just kind of okay.
What would have happened points-wise if Acid and Ginger did the top 2? Because Cynthia was not going to get it because of the outfit. Both outfits, honestly.
So Acid would have gotten... Okay, so then it would have been the lip sync.
Let's assume Acid wins the lip sync for fun.
So Acid would be at 4 points. So Acid would be tied with Cuckoo. So after the lip sync itself, we would have had Ginger with 8, which is where she still would have been. Acid with 4, Cynthia with 4, Daya with 3, Denali with 3, Alyssa with 1.
Denali probably would not have given her point to Acid under these circumstances.
I think this would have been the time we saw RuPaul break a tie.
Okay.
I think we see RuPaul break a tie probably between... Honestly, I could see a scenario where we see RuPaul break a tie between Acid, Cynthia, and Denali.
Because I think Daya would give her point to Ginger.
Oh, to avoid. Or Alyssa.
Or, nah, she ain't going.
I think Alyssa would still give it to Denali.
Yeah.
I actually think Daya would give her point to Acid, to be honest with you. Betty giving it to Betty.
We end up with Daya and Acid, with Cuckoo and Acid being the 2 that are tied, I think.
I don't see Daya doing something that would put her at further jeopardy of not making it in.
Yeah. She would give it to Ginger. I think you're right. And she'd be like, because that would be the safe
So
bucket to put it
so
in.
okay, so Daya gives it to Ginger. Denali gives it to Alyssa.
Yeah, maybe. If she's finally playing the game.
Cuckoo gives it to Acid.
Mhm.
And Acid probably gives hers to Cuckoo still.
Acid doesn't have a point.
Oh, you're
Alyssa,
right.
Alyssa gives it to who?
Alyssa gives it
Denali.
to Cuckoo.
Alyssa would give it
Denali.
Oh, yeah.
So it would be Acid and Denali in the tiebreaker, and it would have been Denali. Wow. In that
I think
scenario.
Acid would have went through over Denali.
Denali had a win.
Well, in
Well, what
this
Acid would be
scenario,
So in this scenario, Acid would have too.
Oh shit, you're right. Oh fuck.
What
Acid
if? What
has
if?
consistently been scenarios.
this is such an underrated bracket. I know I was already most excited for it, but here's the thing: I'm with Brooke, where this has been the most enjoyable bracket for me because the talent's there and there's a healthy dose of drama without it being too much. But what has not been enjoyable about this bracket is freaking Twitter and the internet. They have just made it such a miserable experience.
No, and I want to just piggyback off that again, David Healy, right? Do we think Ginger should have been in the top 3 in every episode she was? Personally, I think she should have been in the top 2 in at least 2 of them, and debatably a third, right? For me, if it is at least debatable if someone should be in the top 2, why the hell are you complaining?
Right.
Because I only complain about a challenge win if I fully disagree with it, right? The last time I complained about a challenge win on this channel was when Jimbo won Snatch Game in All Stars 8 because I did not find it funny even a little bit, right?
Fair.
But again, it's RuPaul's Drag Race, and if Ru found it funny, well, congratulations, you appealed to the denominator you needed
And
to.
now she's on a worldwide tour doing that character. So hey,
that's what I'm saying. Our opinion does not matter when it comes to the overall thing of the Twitter hose. Shut up. Just enjoy the content that you're getting because every single person on this season, for the most part, has brought some level of entertainment to this game.
And
except for Serena.
And I wonder too, because the way I don't know the order they filmed these in, but they could choose
one, 2, 3.
Okay. Okay, but they didn't I don't remember them saying in the episodes you're bracket number 3. Did they?
They did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they did.
They said introducing bracket number 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, those are voiceovers only.
That's why I wonder. I wonder if they chose which order to release them in.
I think they probably kept it vague just in case.
Knowing spoilers about this season, Genie, that this is the order they filmed.
This is the order film. Okay, but if they needed to for safety, for
they could have
switched it around, right? And I wonder, they probably could not have. If it were an option, I don't think they could have put bracket 3 as bracket number 1 because it would have opened. It would have opened the season with too strong of this person is fated to win or productions pushing them to win or something. They didn't want the whole season to start with that, so it would have had to go 3rd. But I wonder if the mistress bracket went 3rd, if the tenor of the fans would be different.
Right.
As well. You know what I mean? Like the order of how things happen changes how people react. They were already venomous with all this stuff, so then they were like ready to be fighting, drawing blood, and then in bracket 3.
Because this season is on track to be the best All-Star season of all time.
I think it is.
I'll say it.
Truly, and
it's top 3.
It's up there with 2 and 6 right now, for sure.
Absolutely.
One of those
Ginger seasons.
I'm just gonna say, personally, if it were me, this is 3rd all time for All Stars for me. I think 6 and 7 are just incredible seasons. I also hate 2. But I also despise All Stars 2. It's one of my least favorite seasons of Drag Race, period. We'll talk about it off camera.
Okay.
But this season has been so enjoyable for me, and I really think Twitter just needs to learn when to shut up.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
Anyway, not to anyway you. I'm sorry. We have a lip sync. Ginger and Daya lip sync to "Mama Used to Say" by Junior. What a fun lip sync song choice!
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
I never heard the song.
Had never heard this song before.
I liked it a lot.
Loved the lip sync song choice. The lip sync was lovely. lovely lip syncing.
Yeah. So
sorry, go ahead.
I want to get this out of the way. So I know there's been like controversy over like winners of lip syncs or whatnot. For me, episode 7, Ginger won the lip sync. For me, episode 8, Ginger won the lip sync. For episode 9, Diabetic cleared.
Ginger did not win the lip sync.
Cleared.
Truly.
Yeah.
She was so good.
And like, to reiterate again, Ginger Minj, track record wise, is one of the best lip syncers we have ever had on the show. Okay, Diabetic won this lip sync, and this is me. It's just for me. For me, Diabetic won this lip sync because Dia was hitting every beat, every note, every inch of this number. She wanted this badly, and I think Ginger was kind of like,
I think Ginger didn't want it.
She didn't want it, and even then, I don't know if this is something that was really up Ginger's alley.
No,
because even in every lip sync that Ginger has had on Drag Race, right? I'm thinking of Phone. I'm thinking of Sugar Walls on All Star 6, right? Like every lip sync she has been goofy to some degree. I don't know how you really camp this number up. Other than, of course, Defying Gravity, which you cannot camp, and it is, a very glaring exception to that statement. But she Parker marked it and she nailed it. So, like, I don't know what else she could have done here to, like, really zhuzh it up in a way that really fit her aesthetic. But, I mean, hey, everybody loses the lip sync at some point if you lip sync that many, even technically Roxy Andrews. So, like...
Yeah. She really channeled her inner Jaden Dior Fierce and said she's doing # the best she can do right now here in this situation.
That's what she did. Dia, I think, won because, the movement was there, of course. But I think I've never heard that song before. It seemed very 80s to me. And Dia channeled her 80s. Like the movement seemed 80s. The styling seemed 80s. Like I don't know if it's 80s or early 90s, but that's what it is. 80s. It's 80s. That's what it felt like. And I think Ginger she didn't need to win this one, but if she could have, if she did more 80s glamour, like Alexis Carrington sort of thing, if that sort of thing, she could have gone that angle. Would have been different than the last 2 lip syncs. Would have been nice. But the characterization, I think, won it for Dia. It felt like she was that's so part of her DNA too. The 80s, they both have it in their DNA, but Dia really tapped into it.
Yeah, I literally wrote down, I feel like she's been transported back in time. It just felt straight out of that era.
Yes.
And the look was so perfect for it too. And Ginger's look was # the best she could do right now here in this situation because she had that face makeup on from her Victorian era look. Michelle.
Not Marie.
Why is Marie Antoinette wearing green?
Why is she
Michelle's 2 natural enemies, Marie Antoinette and the color green. Add in Joel and then you get the trifecta.
And that's
Michelle said, I'm putting my foot down on this one.
And that is the reason that Ginger and Minj is now 7-1 in lip syncing on Drag Race.
That's right.
But like, I will again repeat, put some respect on her name as a lip syncer, y'all. She is incredible on stage. I want them to let her just. I want her to sing live if they do a talent show because her live vocal when she sings, she's an incredible vocalist too.
Well, we shall see what the challenges are. Who knows?
I know. I'm so curious what's going to happen.
She's not going home on no Snatch
Really,
game.
just episode 11 that's a mystery. We know what 10 and 12 are.
What are they?
She's not going home on Snatch Game.
Well,
next
the preview for next week is Snatch Game.
Oh, is it? Okay. I had no idea.
Game.
And then it's a lip sync tournament for
it's a lip sync tournament for the finale.
Lip sync finale.
Okay. So does that mean people will get eliminated in 10 and 11, and then in 12, some people will come back?
Well, one person is coming back in 12 out of anyone who has been on the season. We don't know who it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it could be anybody any of the 9 that have been out here, or somebody gets eliminated in 10 or 11.
Okay. Maybe anybody.
The 7 girls that
it can be somebody from 10 or 11?
Yes, it said anybody. They said anybody. So
it can be anyone from any point.
Okay. And how many judges are going to choose? T.S. Madison will choose
I believe it's 4.
T.S. Ross,
Carson, and Michelle.
Carson and LaRoche are each get a name that they put into a hat and then they would pick one out.
Yeah.
Michelle?
Also, I'm very glad with Laura Roach being
Michelle.
one of the regular judges. I like that addition to this family of
I agree.
judges. I think it's very good.
I agree. Sort of, it's a talent show. Anyway, Daya wins the lip sync. Just throwing that in there. Obviously it was going to be. What are the two challenges that are going to be for the semifinals? Snatch Game and a talent show, obviously. Hello. Little spoiler for you all that made it 2 hours into this episode. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for watching 2 hours in. But yes, Daya wins the lip sync. Daya Betty is the Minge Slayer.
She did it.
She did it.
Minge.
She did it. It took Ginger Minge being in green and wearing a Marie Antoinette face, quote unquote,
Her downfall.
to be her downfall, baby.
Mhm.
That was her downfall. And that's what meant that she did not win this lip sync.
Mhm.
So Daya wins. She now has 6 points, which means she's also making it to the semifinals because we knew Ginger was going to make it. So Ginger and Daya are making it through to the semifinals. Yay!
Deserved.
And now it is time to figure out who the hell is going to be the last person. And baby, these QVC points come down and it's wild. It is crazy. The buffoonery. Not the buffoonery. Actually, there was no buffoonery or riggery happening with this. I actually thought this was incredibly wholesome, very lovely, and I cried. I gotta be honest. I cried during this whole sequence because I thought it was so cute, lovely, wonderful, and wholesome. Every single one of them. I loved this.
My favorite part of this whole situation is Alyssa getting emotional at not giving a point to Cuckoo, because and now, to be honest with you, the second I knew that the last person giving a point was Acid Betty, we knew who was going into the semifinal. We all knew. But when I was sitting there watching, I was like, oh God, I get it, because she talked about it in their first episode that she's respected Cynthia for years, and they've worked together a couple times in the season, and like they've had that rapport built. And for her to have to basically say, if I'm being fair, this is the person I think that, based on the competition, deserves to be in the semifinal more. And it sucks that I have to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that hit for me. Yeah. But also, Acid Betty. Oh my Lord. That's the friend you need. If you are looking for a friend and you can't tell if somebody's your friend, put them in through the Acid Betty test. That's a good friend right there.
Yeah. The thing that I love the most about this entire sequence is that without conferring, and for 4 completely different reasons, each one of these queens gave their point to somebody different. And like, I do kind of love that if that's how we end with the MVQ points, like I think that's kind of lovely in a way. Like all of them, like every queen getting a point here at the end for a different reason. Like I kind of loved that. Like Cuckoo giving her point to Alyssa because Puerto Rico, and that's just the reasoning is Puerto Rico, and she's gonna make Puerto Rico proud. And we get Denali giving her point to Acid because she's someone that she's looked up to for years, and she did amazing in this competition. And point blank in the period, Acid Betty did not get the respect in this competition she deserved.
Acid Betty should be in the semifinal right now. I'm just going to say, for the record, for me, Acid Betty should have been in the top this week and the first week for me, personally. And her not being in the top and not making it through to the semifinal irritates me. But again, it's not my show. So
it was just a crazy bracket situation. But then we get Alyssa, like you said, Brook, who's crashing out over not giving a point to Cuckoo, but she wants to be fair to the system of the MVQ points. So she gives her point to Denali because Denali was the most consistent and did the best. And so it comes down to Acid, and Acid giving her monologue in the way that Acid does, because she's just a theater queen and she wants her friend Cuckoo to go through to the semifinals and get her shot finally to succeed at Drag Race after beating cancer and doing all of these things. Like, it's just every single person's reasoning was so beautiful and heartfelt. And I love Ginger and I love Daya, but if I could have sent all 4 of those queens through to the semifinals in that moment instead of Ginger and Daya, I would have. I'm sorry. I love Ginger and I love Daya, but I would have swapped those 2 for all 4 of those queens in that moment right there, right then.
The really emotional part about the ending for me was not only Acid Betty saying that she's voting for Cuckoo, right? And she's giving her this point. It's her saying, I want her to win this whole motherfucker, right? Because, pardon swearing, if the content police made it 2 hours and 15 minutes in, I'm sorry. Beside the point. But hearing that, like, raw emotion from someone who, you know, she's like, they are close. They have been friends for, a decade at this point. Hearing that emotion, I'm going to design for her in the semifinal because I want her to win that badly, right? Not love this entire moment. Like, this is one of the most, like, raw, emotion-filled moments maybe ever on Drag Race? Maybe?
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of my season when that episode happened with Kana and Angeli.
Oh my God, yeah.
This is like, not the exact same, but it's like that feeling. Where it's like,
very similar, yeah.
You're playing a part and you're not going to make it, but you're playing a part in someone else making it. And that is not something we see often on the show. But this dynamic of this game, this version of All Stars, this allowed that to happen, and we didn't really see that happen until now. In bracket 2, it was more about toppling someone else. Like, let's amass our points and we can try to overcome someone else. Bracket 3 was like more pure, more love.
And in bracket 1, they were still just trying to, it was just, let's figure out who makes it, and it was competitive, but there was still the air of like the good sisterhood, and it was okay. Let's uplift everyone. So I'm glad that at least we're getting back to kind of that narrative arc kind of situation almost. But David, my love,
yeah, I wish I had started first.
But I really want to know what you think.
So I don't like to be spoiled with Drag Race stuff. As much as I can, I try to avoid it. Last week, I was just feeling too stressed about this bracket because I'm like, there's so many people I'm rooting for. I gotta know what happens. So a week ago, I did look up spoilers, and I'm so glad that I've had a week to come down because Logan got my messages immediately. And are you kidding me? Because this was on paper worst case scenario that could happen with the cuckoo of it all. So I'm glad
for David.
For him. So, I'm glad I had a week to kind of mull it over and just come to terms with it. I think what made it a lot more palatable is that I actually thought she did really well this episode.
Hey, there we go.
If she had a typical, at least a previous typical cuckoo episode, I would have been fuming. I'm still disappointed because my question, like, I'm happy for Cuckoo. She's lovely, and I'm happy for her fans. But my question that I kept going to is, what really does she gain from this? Because she's the only person who advanced purely off of the points. If we're being realistic, the chances of her winning are not very high. So the downside is so much bigger than the upside for me. Like, the downside is, okay, I'm going to push my friend ahead, and she's going to get a bunch of backlash from fans now. I don't know if that's happening. I haven't really been getting on.
It's not.
It has been, shockingly, again, based on
I'm truly surprised.
Twitter has been overwhelmingly positive about this
Okay.
whole situation. Which, again, I'm shook, but I'm happy. Like, we shouldn't be sending these girls hate.
Yeah.
Even when Mistress did what Mistress did in the second bracket, right? Which I thought it was petty. I thought it was immature. But at the end of the day, they know what they're signing up for, and they do have, you know, they're all playing the same game, and they all have the same cards dealt to them in this situation, right? I can't help but feel like this system just really worked.
Yeah.
The only change I would make is make all of them reveal their points on stage at the end of every episode instead of doing the first two in the workroom. I think it just works better on stage.
Yeah, but then they miss out the chance to manipulate. But David, to your point of like what the upside downside is, I think there is an upside to seeing Cynthia make it through, is that it's someone. I think it's important for the season to have different routes into that finale. Different routes into the final.
I did that with Carrie.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And I would have loved to see several people make it through like the gaming aspect of it, because I mean it, and I agree, if this had been, you know, a previous season's kind of run for Cuckoo, I too, as a Cuckoo fan, would have been upset had she made it through with a subpar performance. The fact of the matter is, Cuckoo has not underperformed in this bracket. She has been up there with...
Denali hasn't either.
No, I'm not saying anyone has.
There's 3 seats, right? And like I get it, right? Because trust me, when I was watching bracket 2, I really personally was connecting with Tina a lot more than I had ever connected with Tina Burner the first time. The first bracket reminded me about why I love Deja Sky so much and how much I wanted Deja to go through. But at the end of the day, there wasn't a spot for Deja in the top 9, and there wasn't a spot for Denali, and there wasn't a spot for
Tina. Wasn't a spot for Acid, and there wasn't a spot for Tina. Like, that's the difficult part here, is like, at the end of the day, I wanted 5 people from this bracket to go through.
Yeah.
Like,
and to the whole out of the 9 who did make it through, it's like overall there's maybe 1 slot for an underdog. You know, there's like if there's 1 slot, and it went to Cynthia. It could have been Acid, and I'm saying underdog not in terms of their talent. I'm saying in terms of the fans' expectations of these queens.
And their like drag race archetype based on their previous performance.
Yes,
I mean, the 3 people with the best track records moved on from the first 2 groups. And the 2 people, in fact, only 8 people have won lip syncs this season. All 8 of those people plus Cynthia are
yeah. But that 9th slot, if you imagine the casting, they're not really controlling it like this, I don't think. But imagine that 9th slot there is 1 room for 1 person to make it through, who's kind of the under expected person, and then it gives us some flavor to see. To your point, maybe the chances are low. Maybe the percentage chance is low that she'll dominate every single challenge. But then imagine the upset if she does. It's worth the bet. It's worth the bet.
And like, even on top of that too, like adding into this whole conversation, right? I personally, and again, we need so many different archetypes of characters on this show represented, right? Not even from just you are a dominant competitor and you're an underdog competitor, but like, name a bigger drag race hero than Cynthia Lee Fontaine. I can't think of one outside
Bianca
of
Del Rio.
Maybe Jinx.
Hey,
maybe.
it's her. Hey, no. It's her birthday today. Happy 50th, Bianca, you dumb bitch.
Really? She's 50?
It's her 50th birthday today. Happy 50th, Bianca.
I'm also thinking
everything I want to be when I'm 57.
I'm also thinking about the challenges, though, like, because the next challenge is Snatch Game. Denali, we know she was so good in Snatch Game. Cynthia, we've seen bomb Snatch Game, and then like there's a talent show. I think Denali would have done. So I'm just sad. I'm sad.
I mean, but in the same token, right? I read the dynamic of this crap. We don't know what she's gonna do.
But I always knew she had it in her.
Okay. Yes. Right.
Yes. Okay.
Can we segue to the 9? Because I feel like we're already talking about it.
I want to say one thing really, really quickly. I love you, David. This is not a critique of you specifically. I don't want you to take it as such. Please, for the love of everything good in the universe, I would please urge you to get rid of Cuckoo's previous performances as part of. I understand that is part of your previous lexicon with Cuckoo. You now have 3 episodes of her succeeding in 2025.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm not as mad as I would have.
Yes.
No.
Erase season 8 and season 9. That's 10 years ago, Cuckoo. Look at Cuckoo now. That's the Cuckoo going into semifinals, Cuckoo. Okay. That's the Cuckoo to expect now. I think if there's anyone that could be the dark horse of the rest of this competition, I think there are several. But I think the 2 people to look out for the most are Irene the Alien and Cynthia Lee Fontaine. Because who knows what either of them could pull out at this point?
It's a surprise.
I mean, it's absolutely a surprise. And I love you dearly. But you harping on Cuckoo from 10 years ago starting to irk me just a little bit.
Oh, come on. I'm being so nice to Cynthia this season.
He is being critical, not rude.
I've never said he's being rude. I just want you to drop the 10 years ago Cuckoo. Okay, we're dealing with Cuckoo in 2025.
It's mostly just disappointed because Denali was the person I said going into the season I wanted to see win. And
baby, as if I'm not sitting here thoroughly disappointed that Denali and Acid didn't make it through, because my ideal scenario, no shade to Ginger and Daya, I love them dearly, but me sitting here as if my ideal scenario for this bracket going through was not Denali, Acid, and Cuckoo. Like, I would have loved to see Denali and Acid make it through because I love them both so fiercely. I love Denali just as much as you do. I've been fucking obsessed with Denali since the moment she was introduced to me on my screen in the Meet the Queens on season 13. I fucking love her. I wish she had more time here. I hope she is the person pulled in the wild card draw. I hope she has a shot to win $200,000.
That person's not going to win.
Well,
if she's in a lip sync SmackDown for the crown, any fucking thing is possible.
I don't know if they're going to win, but she can definitely serve a lip sync and make it past the first round if it is Denali.
True.
I mean, and look, and again, we're talking about all of these queens as if I'm not devastated that we've lost almost all of them. I really think that this
except for Serena.
Except for Serena. And like, out of the ones
Serena again?
No,
Serena Cha-Cha!
But why do we keep bringing her up?
Except for Serena.
David! You are not a Drag Race fan. Do you really not remember that Untucked moment?
Well, no, I do remember that, but I thought you
That's why we keep saying it.
One of these people, Serena.
Except for Serena.
Okay, that's way better than in my head. I'm like, are you calling Alyssa?
No, we just keep saying except for Serena.
Okay, I'm glad it's
and
not.
Like out of the girls that didn't make it.
It's the autism. Sorry,
it's okay for me. I get you.
You don't understand. It's the autism.
I get you.
Sorry.
But out of the girlies that made it through, that didn't make it through, right? I feel really devastated about like 6 of them not making it through. Because like personally, never have been a huge fan of Miss Olivia Lux. I love you down. I like you. I like your drag. It's just I never really connected with Olivia. I've never really connected with Alyssa Hunter. Sorry. And personally, I've never connected with Denali. Now, granted, I think she got robbed on season 13. She should not have been at the bottom that week, and that should have been Tina Burner stashing away. But no shade. Or Rosé, even honestly. But or Rosé. But beside the point. What was the song that week? Shackles? Yeah, Rosé. But beside the point, I didn't really connect with them. But I hadn't watched season 3 in years, and seeing Phoenix come back on Drag Race was insane to me. And I love Phoenix in this season, even if she wasn't the best competitor from a traditional standpoint. Like, Prison Honey was funny to bring up, but like also, I thought Phoenix did good in the Rock Girl Challenge. I was really into that. I think everybody that was here brought something to this cast. And only having half of them move on automatically makes the season feel emptier. But that's kind of the point. You know, like, because we talk about like, oh, well, with the regular seasons of All Stars, you know, girl can be doing great and just get taken out of the bracket. I mean, I'm thinking of Jimbo and Pangina on UK versus the World, right? And I know you weren't thrilled about that either. And I also know you weren't thrilled when Marina went home on UK versus the World 2 last year either. And that wasn't the finale. So, like, I know, David, you are a huge fan of the girls that are doing well.
I like talent to succeed in the competition, yes.
But we're not living in a meritocracy. We're living in a ruocracy. That's the thing.
Actually, we're living in a bracketocracy currently. So
we're living in a QVC-cocracy, okay? Like,
great, correct.
You know what? I do think they're letting the game be the game because they're letting the game be the game. So I do think if someone comes in and from Wildcard and wins the lip sync, whatever, whoever does the best will win this crown. I think that's how they're gonna let it be. I don't think they're over controlling or over dialing or twiddling dials or everything. I think they're letting it go where it's gonna go. And I think that's part of the thrill of the season because it is unpredictable. And that slot that Cynthia's taking up, which is amazing, and she's going to be there. That could have been Nicole Paige Brooks. It could have been like they needed. We as a fandom, we need to see someone in that slot that's unexpected, and so it could have been any of these queens who came from a different era or a different like style or a different aesthetic. Not all the, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Archetypal drag race queens who are already big names and are already succeeding out there in the world and already have all the high booking.
The popular queens. I'll say it. Not all the popular queens needed to make it through to the semifinals. Yeah, I'm sorry, David. Not all of them needed to.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for all of them.
Just the one you picked. Just the one you had your bet on.
I want.
I understand and I believe it and I trust. I'm with you on that. But I have two questions to ask before we dive into the outro of this video. Of these 9 queens, who would you like to see win the season? And of the 9 queens that we have currently lost from the brackets, who would you like to see come back for the lip sync SmackDown for the crown in the finales? Genie, let's start with you.
Let me see who the 9 queens are in the finale.
So it is Irene, Aja, and Bosco, Mistress, Lydia, and Georges, and then I made the banner and then never put it up. Ginger, Daya, and Cuckoo.
Okay, I think who do I want to win from this 9?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think Bosco, Aja, or Georges. I'm a huge fan of Georges. I think Georges is a great competitor, great at drag, great at everything. I think Georges is like the best. I think Georges is the best. Honestly, I'm just a huge stan. Totally opposite from anything I would do in drag world. Like it's not my world, but I love her. Bosco, Aja. I think Aja could take the whole thing. I think Aja could take it. And then of the 9 who did not make it, who would I want back on?
Who would you want? Who do you want to have the lip sync
Wildcard
SmackDown? Yeah, the Wildcard.
God damn, who's left? Is there a list of who's left? Who's
it would be Deja Sky, Olivia Lux, Phoenix,
Carrie,
Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia, Tina Burner, and then the 3 girls we lost here: Acid Betty, Denali, and Alyssa Hunter.
I think Carrie Colby.
Lovely choices, gal. Lovely choices.
Colby, yeah.
I
think that'd be good. That'd be good for a lip sync. She has her style down. Like she always looked good, but she has the aura.
Oh yeah.
Now, and I want to see more of that aura.
And she's grown so much as a performer too. Like
yes.
She's so sickening. Yeah.
She was always gorgeous and she could stand and jiggle. Now she's like she's a full-fledged performer.
Absolutely.
What y'all think?
Brook, what about you?
I'll just say the person I want to come back more than anybody else is Tina Burner. And again, coming into this season, I was not a Tina Burner fan at all. Tina annoyed the piss out of me on season 13. But now I just really like Tina, and I really want Tina to succeed. Also, I would love for it to be Nicole Paige Brooks, but I want it to be Tina.
From Atlanta, Georgia.
I just want to live in a world where we have Nicole Paige Brooks and Mistress Lipsync against each other, and Nicole sends Mistress home.
Yes.
That would be so funny.
Well, you've got so much confidence in Mistress making it to the finale.
I'm just saying, in general, I think it'd be great. Good TV. Good TV. Beside the point, I want it to be Tina. For the person I think I would want to win the most, it's a toss-up between like 3 people. One of them is Ginger. I think Ginger should have won 2 crowns at this point based on her appearances on other seasons. Personally, as much as I love Kylie and I don't care about Violet, I think Ginger should have won both of those seasons.
Agreed.
Based on what's in front of my face, absolutely. So I think this could be the time to finally get a big girl winner in the U.S. We have been waiting 27 seasons deep, y'all. We haven't gotten one.
And might we mention while we have Genie here that Thailand did it first?
Thailand did it first. Thank
First
you very
plus size
much.
plus first trans winner. That was us, baby. That's
First winner named Frankie Wonga.
That
First
too.
East
That too.
Asian winner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
But
yes.
the other people I would really want to see win, I would love for Irene to win, just because I think the story of that would be so incredible. We no, it's been a minute. It's been 6 weeks, but Irene ate that first bracket up, right? So getting to see Irene hopefully continue to do really well as this competition progresses, I would love for Irene to win. And then also I want Aja to win everything. So
correct. Yes.
Who do I not want to win? Georges.
Really? Yeah. I think Aja's my pick.
Yes.
She's the heart. I really feel like if you had to pick a queen who is the heart of Drag Race, at least feels like it, like in this season, like someone who has long history with the show, someone who's gone through transformations through the show, someone who's had ups and downs and highs and lows and like memorable moments, but also like spiral crash and burns. It's Aja.
Y'all, we get to see Aja and Cuckoo back together. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so excited for that.
I don't really remember them having much of a dynamic.
They didn't have much, but I'm so excited for it regardless.
Who sent Cuckoo home on season 9?
Peppermint.
Yeah.
Music.
That's another one.
Madonna.
I was thinking of the lip sync she did with Pharaoh, where neither of them went.
No.
Yes, and then Eureka
Farrah
went.
won that lip sync fair and square, even if it wasn't great.
Farrah won that lip sync. It wasn't great, but Farrah won that lip sync. David, what about you?
I'm kind of in the same boat with Brook, where I have 3. So, I mean, I think the person who deserves it the most so far is Ginger. I just think it would be a miserable experience as a fan of Ginger if she won. I think people would be ruthless. It would just be so unenjoyable. And I have had those experiences where my fave wins and then people just make it not a fun experience for me.
Tag me, it's okay.
Yeah. Yes, I will tag you, Brooke. So I don't know that I want to go through that again. I do think Irene would be an incredible story if she won. I've always loved Irene. I'm a little nervous considering it's a lip sync SmackDown in the end.
She did well in all 3 of those lip syncs.
She did well, but she's up against some pretty strong lip syncers.
Hey, maybe some of them will go home in the next 2 episodes. You never know.
That's true. Could happen.
But just for the personal impact that it would have, I think it would also be really cool to see Daya win, because that would be huge for our city, especially like seeing Daya from start when she was very brand new at our drag, and then just seeing somebody from Springfield, Missouri win Drag Race would be incredible. We've had 2 people in the finale before, so seeing one of them win would just be so cool.
Yeah. And are you not going to answer the other question?
Oh, the other question? Okay. Nah, I mean, we know. We know. It's Denali.
What?
My shirt answered for me.
I'm very surprised you didn't say Carrie.
I mean, I love Carrie. I don't know that I don't know how well she would do if she came back, but I would
Fair.
love if Gary came back. She would be my second choice, followed by Acid.
Fair enough. Yeah, so as far as who I want to see in the wildcard spot, I think there's a lot of people that I would like to see in the wildcard spot. I think for me, I'm going to say Acid, because I just think she has performed so consistently in this bracket. Her selflessness in this bracket as well is something that I've really, really admired. And I hope that at least one of the judges recognizes the selflessness here. I know they don't get to see everything, but I hope that at least one of the judges recognizes that enough to throw her name in the ring for it, because her drag has been so good. And I've loved getting to see, you know, the dimensionality of her drag here. Something that not all these semifinalists have. I would say maybe 6 of them do, to be honest with you. And I would have liked to see more of that from some other people in moving on to the semifinals. As far as who from the semifinalists I would like to see win, I'm also going to name 3 because I had 3 in mind as well. So I'm glad we've all went with 3 here. My current name on Twitter is something Team Aja. So obviously I'm rooting for Aja. She's been one of my favorites since the absolute beginning of me being a fan of hers. I'm just so happy to see her back on Drag Race. Her journey has been one that I've followed for a long time. Shut up, bro.
No, it is funny. She's been one of my favorites since she's been one of my favorites.
Well, yeah.
Just the beginning of me being one of the fans.
Fuck you.
Like,
both.
okay, what was that? A month ago?
That could have been yesterday.
That was 10 years ago, you dumb bitches. For context, thank you. Thank you for not laughing, Genie. I really appreciate you for being a sister in this moment. I'm going to give my MVQ point to Genie.
Thank you. I accept.
You're
it.
going to swap points.
Fuck you both.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm rooting for Aja. I'm also definitely rooting for Bosco. I love Bosco dearly. I think, you know, her whole transformation has been so beautiful to watch. She absolutely fucking demolished that first bracket as well. Like, I don't think we talk enough about how Bosco fucking demolished the first bracket as fiercely as Irene and Aja did. Like, let's be real and honest here. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So obviously rooting for Bosco. Now, here's where I throw in my little wild card. It's not cuckoo, I promise. I'm gonna throw a little bit behind Butthole. I think Lydia. I think there is a why else? Why else is she still here?
Because she did really well and performed really well in the competition, and
she killed her bracket. She killed her bracket. She was first in her bracket. Let's see what Lydia's got going on. I really think like there's this fresh ingenue quality about Lydia that I really think give her the right circumstances and situations. I think Lydia could win this season of Drag Race.
I would love that.
I would not be mad in the slightest. But actually, of these semifinalists, I would be really happy with like 7 of them winning, to be honest with you.
Say the 2's names.
Mistress and Georges. Actually, no, it's 8 now. Just Mistress. This is the most I've ever liked Georges on Drag Race.
Yeah.
I did not care for
really
her.
Funny. This is the least I have ever liked Georges on Drag Race.
Oh, how interesting. Yeah, I didn't care for her.
For her as a person, right? Not about...
No, as a character on Drag Race. I don't know Georges as a human being.
Yeah.
I just don't connect to Georges' drag, personally.
Oh, fair, yeah.
Like, for me, right? I did not care for Georges on season 14. Georges was, like, palatable, I guess, on All Stars 9. And I just have not really enjoyed every episode of Georges this season.
Oh, and I'm finding her personality to actually be kind of lovely here. Like, I'm finding her interactions with Rue to be very nice here. This is the most I've found her personality palatable. So
she's approaching twink death, and and like it's a real problem.
I just
And we
don't like
appreciate
her
that.
around Mistress. Like if she was not
I agree.
associated with that,
Bad
Like-
influence.
yeah. But to your point though, with Lydia, like I would not be, as of now, I would not be super excited about Lydia. I thought she's always been fine, like a fine Drag Race contestant, but I've only seen summer of 2024 Lydia. So I'm actually curious to see what kind of evolution we're going to get.
I'm very
second.
excited to see winter of 2025 Lydia.
We
Buck.
got a little bit of a sampling in the Lollapalooza. Just a little.
Yes,
little,
we did.
A little sampling.
Because she was busy during the February and the March of 2025. She was filming back to back. Like she was filming all of her things all at once. So Ms. Butthole was busy.
Yeah, for the record about Butthole, because we haven't really talked about her much. We've kind of talked about everybody else in this, but her until now. I adore Butthole. I think she is one of the most refreshing people we've had on Drag Race in years for me. Because one, yes, does she fit that like quirky, not like other girls aesthetic? Sure. But also she's just fun. And she bucks so many of the trends that come from that stereotype of like comedy. She's funny, but it's not always intentional, right? She's the typical stereotype of that thing is they're not the best lip syncer. She's one of the best lip syncers we've had on Drag Race in the past like 5 years. She's incredible. And like personality wise, I just really jive with her. If she were to win Drag Race with this cast of some high quality knockout hitters of people like Ginger and people like, I'm gonna say Mistress, Georges, Bosco, like how many finalists made it to the semifinals? Like what, 6 or 5?
Bosco, Mistress, no, not Georges.
Daya.
Ginger. 4.
Okay. With 4 finalists, and winning the bracket that she was in against some really stiff competition there as well, I would love that. And I think it would really send a nice message to the future of the franchise.
And the bracket system makes it possible for someone to get on the season right after their season. I don't know where I heard it somewhere it's floating around the internet, but someone had said it was a smart choice for her to go do that. It was a smart choice for her to go run back in.
Yeah.
I don't know who said it, but it made sense the way they argued it. I was like, that's true. It does make sense.
Well, Genie, do you know that she was a last minute replacement, right?
Yeah, I'd heard that too. So that would be a story as well. Yeah.
She was the second person asked for that spot.
Really? Who was the first?
Mirage.
Oh, really? Mirage said no.
Allegedly. Yeah, Mirage said no.
Allegedly. Alleged information.
Says so on screen the whole time. But
I wonder why. If so, why?
Well, I mean, Lydia only had 5 days to get her package together, so maybe that was why.
So Mirage had 6 days.
Well, Mirage now also has a very established gig going on at Gypsy. And at Piranha in Vegas.
Yeah.
She's got a weekly show there now too.
Oh, amazing.
And I believe she's now a swing for Drag Race Live and for the Voss Events brunch that goes on there.
Yeah. You can swing on her?
I would like to very much. But no, she's got the role that like Kahana and Coco have had for years.
Oh, amazing.
So like she's got a solid career now. Coming out of it, I don't really blame her for not. I would like to see Mirage cook more before.
I mean, also she can't just do it on the drop of a hat. That's the big thing.
That too,
right? Like
Lydia
if
could.
she were to show up at a different point, like I wouldn't be shocked if we see her on 11. I wouldn't be shocked. Like in terms of she was one of the first people they asked. You know, if they give her more advance notice, I bet you she can clear it out of her schedule because it's only.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I do.
Oh well, we'll talk about it.
Who knows?
Do you know the answer for 11?
I do.
I want to know.
The whole
They're
cast
filming.
is
They're
Is
filming
it?
bracket. They're filming bracket 3 of 11 right now.
Who's on there? You're not going to put on this video, but you can tell me
No,
later.
I'll tell you after. Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
I
wrap
wanna
this
know.
up so we can tell Genie the tea. David, let's do our draft update so this
Yes.
doesn't run 3 hours.
Not too much changed. There's now a tie for second, but we have Robbie in third place with 46 points, Lana in fifth place with 52.5 points, Eduardo in third place with 54 points. So now there's a tie for second between myself and Eve with 58 points, and River is still killing it in first place with 68.5 points.
That's my twin.
What's-
Serving Brazilian excellence on the cup as usual.
Brazilian
What's
excellence.
interesting is Eduardo and Lana are down to 2 people each.
Okay.
Eduardo has Lydia and Bosco. Lana has Bosco and Diabetti. Robbie and Eve each have 3 people. So Eve has Aja, Georges, and Diabetti. Robbie has Mistress, Cynthia, and Aja.
Okay.
And myself and River, we both have 4 people left. So
Ooh.
I have Ginger, Irene, Mistress, and the person I got stuck with, Cynthia, who's
Yeah, you're welcome.
yeah. I mean, she didn't really earn me a lot of points so
You're
far.
in second.
That's okay.
Yet.
And then River has Irene, Georges, Lydia, and Ginger.
Well, that's a recipe for success. And I hope
Sounds
because
like it.
you keep talking shit about being left with Cuckoo, I hope you lose. And with that being said, I love you, David. I'm just still going to be salty over you being mad about being stuck with Cuckoo because no one should be stuck. No one should be upset about being stuck with Cuckoo. But Genie, you did 3 hours with us this time.
I know we made it. It was listen, bracket 3, there's a lot of drama, a lot of things happening. We had to catch up on the previous brackets. A lot happened here. So
We had a
I'm here
lot.
for it.
We had a lot to go on today, but we're so happy to have you back. And we're so happy to have you anytime you want to come back.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. What a fun chat. I feel this is so lovely. This is what's the fun about Drag Race, especially such a new format and it's like such fun to talk about. So thank you all for having me.
Of course. Anytime. Go follow Genie. If you're not, like I said at the start, what are you doing? Why haven't you already? Because she is an icon, she is a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now. What are you doing?
Call him to the front. Call him to the front, Senator.
Everyone who's not following Genie, come to the front. What the fucker's going on with you on this day? Now, pause this video, go follow Genie, and come back. You don't need to finish this video. It's
Right. You're basically there.
Stop the video. Finish the rest of this video and go follow Genie. Support Genie. Comment on everything Genie's doing. Go tip Genie. Go see Genie if you're in LA doing something. And that's
Make the trip to LA if you are able to go see Genie.
I will be here soon. So.
That's the key. The whole
with that
tea and nothing but the tea.
The tea. Period.
Period.
And with
Did
that
you-
being said,
Did Genie break Perla's record for our
I
recap?
think so. Maybe
My
Is
God.
Is this the longest episode we've had?
Ever?
for
it might
recap?
be.
Oh my
It might be.
I don't think you're gonna make it unless
Oh,
we filibuster.
no.
She was
Oh no.
she was 2 hours and 56 minutes, so
Oh my
you might
God.
be slightly short.
I gotta
I
go
mean-
walk. I gotta go walk my doggy. We can't.
I
do this.
actually do have a question though. Something I did want to ask earlier. Quick little aside, right? Do we still think this format is the best All Stars format? Because I do at this
Yes.
point.
Yes, I do.
I think it is for now.
Out of
it
the
is
ones
for
we have
now.
had,
if you shuffled everything in an order, I mean, I think we need to be refreshed ever so often. For me, I like the All-Star 7 format. I like when people get to
Oh,
stay and earn points the whole time.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
I
either.
like it for all winners. I did not care for it in
No.
All Stars 9.
Fair.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna do it, you have to have a top tier caliber cast, and that was a good cast. I think it could have been a better cast for a non-elimination format.
I agree. Well, with that being said, we're gonna let the Canadian Demon Twink have it. Sorry, Genie. You'll have to come back and do another 3-hour podcast with us. That's just
Great.
I'll be.
Let's have them both at the same time.
Let's do it. Give me
Oh.
a 6-hour episode. Give me crazy.
Genie and Perla together. I'm living. That would be
Add an
great.
Eve, we'll be here all day.
Oh God.
Amazing.
I'm excited. With that being said, thank you for joining us for this lovely wrap up to Bracket 3. We'll be back next week with many videos on the docket. So stay tuned for our All-Stars 10 coverage, all of our drag coverage here on The Cup. Subscribe, like, and share if you have not already. Get your merch, lanagcreations.etsy.com. Follow Genie, support Genie. Go watch another video while you're at it. And with that being said, cheers, y'all.
Cheers.